Hey everyone, and welcome to the stream. Alright, I am back, and we are going to read more of the visual novel, Undefeated. So, let me give you a recap of what happened in the last stream. So, first off, Xander had his second match against Bruce, but he had to tap out before he got seriously injured again. And just when we thought we could avoid another serious injury, Bruce accidentally steps on him and broke his ribs. So he has to spend a week not exercising, at least until he recovers. During that time, he talked with the commissioner, but he could not talk his way out of changing the matchmaking, so he's forced to keep fighting Bruce. After that, he had his first therapy session with Drayden. He helped Bucky by being his assistant coach. We learned a little more about Redline, and by the end of the last stream, we had an interesting talk with Bruce. So, now this brings up the possibility of Bruce being nicer than he appears to be. And I'm really excited to see, again, how all that plays out. I do want to share something real quick, because I like coincidences. So, I went to the gym today, and my plan was to go on the treadmill and then go swimming. While I was on the treadmill, I noticed that one of the TVs was playing an MMA fight. Like, that was a pretty funny coincidence. To see the MMA league on TV while I've been reading Undefeated. So, I watched a couple matches of MMA while on the treadmill, and I got pretty into it. So yeah, that was fun. Anyway, I'm going to be reading Undefeated aloud, but I will keep an eye on the chat just in case there's something to interact with, or someone to interact with. Alright then, let's begin. No, not a new game. Oops. Let's load file 2. So, this is where we left off in the last stream. Well, let's begin. Early morning practices are normally fun, but I'm not exactly allowed to participate, what with my ribs and all. I actually managed to sleep well, for all 4 hours I managed to get. But still exhausted? It's hard to explain, but for the first time in a while, I feel a little lighter. It also helps that I don't have to exercise. These cardio drills look killer. Bucky's having them focus on speed and conditioning today. Come on, boys! I want to see you sweat! If your shirts don't look like you just got back from a swim, we ain't finished. Let's move! The sick bastard's enjoying this. I'm seated up on the countertop, watching the rest of the men getting tortured. Get tortured. Good cardio is one of the most important tools to have in any sport, but especially in MMA. Our bodies are moving at high intensity for potentially long periods of time. Sometimes, if two fighters have equal strengths and skill sets, it can come down to whoever has better conditioning. If you get exhausted too easily, you'll slip up and get caught out. One mistake is all it takes sometimes. I can't afford to make those kinds of mistakes. None of us can, of course. I can't exactly remember a time when my cardio was terrible, but with how much Bucky makes us sweat, anyone would think we're just horribly out of shape. Right now, there's 10 guys, Redline and a bunch of people that I assume are his friends, each at a different piece of equipment. They use it at high intensity, and after half a minute or so, they all rotate to a different workout. Bucky gives them a single minute break every 20 or 30 minutes. It's hard to keep track, but after a couple sets of that, he's finally given them a few more minutes to rest. Redline slides down the wall away from his friends. He is oddly quiet today, but he's panting like a dog, so maybe he's just as exhausted as the rest of the others. He guzzles down a load of water, silent, save for the huffing and puffing. Don't go getting too comfortable, boys. 2 minutes and we're playing Bucky Says. A collective groan from the other guys, but both Redline and I catch each other's glances. He looks over to the group of his friends, then back to Bucky. Normally he'd ask me if he can work with his friends, but today it seems he doesn't have any choice. I'm not able to train today, Red, but you know you don't have to ask for permission to train with your friends. Redline looks down and shakes his head. He swallows. Bucky, can I, never mind. Sorry. Sorry? What's up? Nothing. His friends all laugh out at some joke, and Redline looks away. Alright. Bucky Says is a game Bucky makes us play to practice combinations. I think it's supposed to be like Simon Says, but he never actually says Bucky Says, so we just do whatever he tells us. We each get paired up with someone, and we all put on our gloves. Bucky calls out a combination of punches, and one person has to mimic that, while the other person catches the punches against their gloves. We take turns throwing and blocking with each combo. It's generally good practice, but Bucky has to keep reminding people that this is meant to exercise our speed and muscle memory, not power. That doesn't seem to stop people from swinging hard. Whatever. I don't stoop to that level. Redline really seems to be on the receiving end for a lot of it, honestly. And I can tell he prioritizes speed over power, at least in training. They gear up, and Redline finds a training partner, some Lynx guy. He's got insane reach. I thought I recognized him from the group of guys that Redline hangs out with, but right now, he's barely even looking at the cat. Mikey? Mickey? Something like that. Alright, you boys ready? The rest of them lay out an exhausted yell, but Redline just huffs and readies his stance. Sorry, did you want to go first? He speaks just loud enough for me to parse, almost like he's embarrassed to be heard. Mickey just grunts. He looks bored. His hands come up as though he's holding training pads, and Bucky yells out the first combination. Ready? 1, 2! Each number corresponds with a specific strike. 1 is a jab, and 2 is a straight. Very basic beginner combo. Redline snaps his jab out towards his right, then his straight 8 towards Mickey's left. Easy enough. 1, 1, 2! 2 jabs and a straight. Mickey sends a jab out once against Redline's glove, and then again, but Redline's glove moved, with his other hand moving up, as if to catch his straight. There's a split-second pause, and he sends his straight out for Redline's other glove. Dude. Redline notices his mistake and shakes himself awake. Sorry. Mickey just grunts and readies his hands for the next combo. 1, 1, 4, 5, 2, 3, 5, 2. What the fuck? Jab, jab, rear hook, lead uppercut, or lead uppercut, straight, lead hook, lead uppercut, straight. That's a lot right out of the gates. I still like to think that this is them playing a game of fitness boxing. If you don't know what it is, a fitness boxing is a rhythm exercise game on Nintendo Switch. I used to play that, but then my Joy-Cons broke. As soon as I get a new pair, I would love to get back into fitness boxing. And Ring Fit. Anyway, Bucky's got a mean grin on his face. Redline nods and steps up. He jabs, hooks, hesitates, then jabs again, and pauses. Sorry, the rest of the guys are finishing their combos, but Mickey has to shake his glove to remind him of what the next strike in the series is. It takes some doing, but after some slow thinking, he finishes the combo and drops his gloves, letting out a sigh. 1, 2, 5, 2, 3, 6. Okay, a little bit less confusing. Jab, straight. Lead uppercut, straight. Lead hook, rear uppercut. Redline's hands come up, ready to catch the cat's punches. He sends his jab, straight, uppercut. Redline wasn't ready for his straight punch, and his head moved unexpectedly into the path of Mickey's glove. He steps back, shaken. Come on. No, He rubs his nose, chest starting to heave faster. His breathing a bit too fast, even though we've lowered the intensity from the training earlier. He looks to his friends, laughing, and then to Bucky, the kangaroo's aggressive expression lines as he sees Redline. Alright, Red? Redline backs up away from the rest of the guys and starts shuffling towards the door. Sorry, I have to go. Sorry. What's up? The rest of the fighters are too busy laughing amongst themselves at something else, so no one else really catches this scene besides me, Mickey, and Bucky. Redline sheds his gloves and exits, trotting off down the hall. Mickey just sighs and looks at us, almost annoyed. Did you hit him hard? I tried not to. He moved into the glove. Shadowbox for the rest of the exercise. The Lynx rolls his eyes and starts his exercise. Bucky turns to me and drops his voice. What the hell was that? No clue. He messed up a few times, but I don't think it was a big deal. It didn't look that hard of a punch either. Nah, someone could knock him out and he still wouldn't freak out like that. Something's up. You heard anything going on? I start to speak up, but I'm drowned out by the sounds of Redline's friends laughing way too loudly as one of them got knocked out. He hasn't said anything. I don't like that. Can you keep an eye out for him? Bucky moves past me to help out the guy that just got knocked down. Practice ended, and I couldn't find Redline, even in our room. I eventually caught him eating dinner later that night, but he acted like nothing happened. A few more weeks passed by without much going on. Training, eating, sleeping, the good stuff, I suppose. Haven't really run into Bruce since that encounter that night, and Redline is a little bit more sparse than usual. I see his friends wandering around without him. Maybe they all got fed up with how much he talks too. Doesn't matter. I need to get ready for my next fight. Matchmaking day came and went with a no-show from Bruce, just like last time. I've been training for near a month now, after getting the okay from Drayden, under supervision of Coach Bucky, and the fight's coming up soon. But first, the hardest challenge I've had to face since coming down here. Are you ready to go? Please don't make me do this. It's going to be fine. I feel sick. Jesus, Xander, it's a retirement party, not a funeral. Right, a retirement party. They throw these for every big-name fighter that gets released from Fang. You missed the last, well, all of them, so I'm making you come. Doctor's orders. Drayden told you to make me go to the beach and get drunk with your friends. Drayden said exactly those words, yes. Should I call him and double-check? I don't think he'd appreciate being interrupted from his important doctor work, so maybe just leave the phone in the bedroom, alright? It's a party. We get to socialize. I'm not necessarily adverse to parties, but I prefer it when I know the people I'm going to be seeing there. I don't even know who's retiring. You're going to have fun, I promise. Let's go. Is that all you're wearing? Redline rolls his eyes. Duh, dude. It's a beach party. Everyone's gonna go swimming. I don't know, man. I feel like most people are going to bring a shirt at least. Sounds like you've never gone to a beach party before. You know, Red, I can't say I have. Never really had the chance in an locked state, but I don't think I was missing much. I'd much rather be on land where I can't get drifted out to sea. Red seems pumped. It's the most excited I've seen him in weeks. The whole walk down, he's been rambling about family vacations to the beach. They had this giant balloon thing and a really tall tower, and then one guy sat on one end of the balloon and another guy jumped off the tower on it, and then the guy on the balloon just flew up in the air. They call it departs. Eve jumped for me, and I flew like 30 feet high. That sounds excruciatingly painful. It was. Slapped the fur clean off my chest. He says that with a grin. We open the door to the immersion chamber and step inside. A few guys are standing around drinking at tables, with some more down on the beach. Bank employees wander around, helping to get everything set up. There's a large banner across the top of the drink bar reading, "Farewell Ryan," along with photos of a lizard man in various intimidating poses. Ryan, the guy in Bucky's class that I helped coach a few weeks back. He shoved and threatened me. I can see Redline's face tightens up. That's... How are you feeling? I think I'm gonna throw up. That's the spirit! Let's get you some alcohol! I don't really know if alcohol is the answer right now, or even if it should be the answer to anything, but Redline seems pretty stoked about it. Redline drags me on up to the bar and orders something expensive sounding. The bartender asks what I'll have. Can I get, lemonade? Boo! A few guys nearby that overheard it also started to boo me. I can feel my neck get hot. Come on, dude! You need to loosen up! At least grab a beer! I can do that without alcohol. You've had your chance to loosen up without alcohol since you came down here. I'm starting to think you're lying to me. I roll my eyes. I don't want to drink. Come on, Zan! Stop. I turn back to the bartender to give my order again, but he's already got me a glass of lemonade ready to go. Oh, thanks. The two of us wandered back to an empty table, with Redline stopping to greet some guys every few seconds. Half of them barely grunt a response back. At least the view from the table is nice. The sun is still pretty high in the sky, so people are mulling about. Seems like everyone's in good spirits. A bunch of people are swimming. A lot more just standing around, drinking and talking. I spy a few huge dudes playing volleyball down on the sand. One guy sets the ball. It goes up. A big dude spikes the ball into someone else's face, hard enough to send that guy stumbling back. The ball bounces back onto the spiker's side of the net and hits the ground. The entire other team, including the gentleman on the ground, cheers loudly. Checking out the eye candy? The what? Redline giggles and takes another sip of his drink. You know, the babes, the hunks, the smoking hard, another sip. The men, hot. Hey, Sordior, thanks for coming to the stream. I'm doing good. How are you doing? We're reading the visual novel Undefeated today. Redline trips over his words a lot, so this is nothing new. I shrug. They're alright, I guess. I'd be lying if I didn't at least admit some of these men were, at a base physical level, incredibly attractive. I'm not very picky about sizes or appearance. But when it comes to personality, it's a fucking desert. Guys down here are either mean, dumb, or both. Redline nudges me a bit too rough. Come on, big guy, what's the matter? Surely one of these guys has your eye. It's like a fucking chartreuse board? Charcuterie board? Yeah, that! The smorgasbord! It's one of those, but with men. There's a lot of them. I think he meant smorgasbord. Oh, smorgasbord. I read that right, okay. I don't know, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hot guys here. Redline makes some ooh sound, like we're in 4th grade talking about girls. I roll my eyes. What about you? The hyena takes a long sip and slams his empty glass down with a big, satisfied grin. Oh, buddy, this is an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I'm looking to get my money's worth. What does that mean? Maybe bring a bit home in the doggy bag, too. What does that mean? Redline just giggles, the hyena tree showing itself clear as day. Let's just say that room was occupied quite a bit before you showed up, buddy. Gross. Redline laughs, loud enough to get the attention of a nearby table. I moisten my hands to try to keep him quiet. Shut up, man! I washed the seats before you came! And after I came. Stop! Another laugh, this one much higher pitched and louder than the one before. And Redline goes to grab another drink. When he returns, he starts very loudly pointing out the men he slept with, loudly naming them off, and giving probably way too many details about his encounters. So you can remember all these guys' names, and how... God! I was dreading this part of the game, of reading this aloud. Well, I'm gonna pause for a bit. I am willing to swear to keep the tone of the story going, but there is just some things I'd rather not say, so I may line some of the dialogue. So we're gonna skip this line. So you can remember all these guys' names, but you can't remember a smorgasbord? He takes another long sip, trying not to spill it as he giggles. You never forget the important details, Xander. Who cares about some dumb French word when there's men to please? I guess he got me there. There's probably some more value in that, somewhere, I'm sure. And Redline seems happy. His tail's been going a mile a minute since he started drinking. I'm gonna head down to the shore. Have fun. Redline grabs my arm and starts to tug. You misunderstand, dummy. You're coming with me. He's not pulling very hard, so I don't resist much, planted firmly in my chair. You'll find this sentiment however makes you comfortable? Thank you. I'll just sit up here and watch. Come on! If you won't drink alcohol, you at least gotta drink some seawater. That sounds like a worse idea. It's not even seawater. It's chlorinated. That's basically the same thing. Yeah, kid. Quit being a party pooper. Hot. Who's in a swimsuit? I stumble back, some sort of survival instinct kicking in to help create distance. Bruce just snorts some hot air out. Easy, kid. It's a party. No one's gonna bite your head off. You couldn't if you tried. Bruce scruffs Redline and flashes a big toothy grin, then snout's nearly touching. You want to bet on that, furball? Redline just lets out a squeaky growl, and Bruce sets him down, his big sharp claws ruffling Redline's hair. Didn't know you two knew Ryan. We've, met? Bruce's face sours. Doesn't sound like it was a good impression. He tried to kill Xander! Well, no, but he did shove me. Bucky put a stop to him quick. Bruce lets out a sigh, his claws now squishing behind Redline's ear. I can see his tail wag as he sips from his drink. Yeah, that sounds about right. I hear he plays rough in training. It's like the guy doesn't have an off switch. But you haven't seen it in action? You really think anyone outside the heavyweights want to spar with me? He can try to be a tough guy with me if he wants. Just then, the doors open, and a bunch of men cheer, hooting and hollering Ryan's name. Sure enough, he showed up with a couple of friends. He looks like he's in good spirits. Someone hands him a plastic cup filled with what I assume to be alcohol, and someone else cranks the music up. Redline scampers off to mingle with anyone that will listen. I'm not sure what's worse, Tagging along with him, or being alone with Bruce? The big guy just glanced down at me, eyes occasionally drifting to some other partygoers. He seems particularly keen on Ryan, but his eyes always return to me. So, yeah? I take a sip from my cup. What you drinking? Lemonade. You? He swings his cup in his hand. Just some water. Not much for alcohol these days. That's a good sign. Attaboy, Brucey! Hydration is key, just like I told you. I love Drayden in that open shirt. Bucky strolls on in, with Drayden trailing behind. It's weird not seeing either of them in their respective uniforms. Bruce just grumbles. I never had you as a coach. Yeah, I would have worked you to the bone if you did. He rolls his eyes and takes another swig of his water. Good to see you two. I didn't think staff would show up. What, to miss out on all the fun? I always liked seeing my fighters off, even the troublemakers. I don't know why he tousled my hair on that line, but luckily my antler nubs made it a little harder for that. And Drayden? You never really seemed like the party type. Hey now, I could be fun, though Bucky did offer to go with me. I treated Ryan a bit back when I first started. He's been in the medbay pretty frequently, believe it or not. I can believe it. The guy fights like an animal. He's been in more fights than a lot of the men down here, and his hospital records prove it. Seems he had some rough coaching too. He'd end up there a lot after sparring. Both Drayden and Bruce take a drink, glaring at Bucky. Hey, don't look at me. I didn't get him till a few weeks ago. I don't let that shit fly in my classes. At least not to the head. Ab training is fair game. Don't tempt me. You still owe me a few punches as payback. Bucky laughs nervously, then clears his throat. He just got more and more rowdy. Too much for the other coaches to handle apparently, so they sent him my way. I'm usually good with the handfuls. I mean, look at Red. We all glanced down to the hyena on the beach, who was trying and failing to wrestle down a large tiger man. The man then proceeds to slam his fist into Redline's body, kicking up a sizable amount of sand around his body. Redline lets out a high-pitched wheeze, followed by some energetic giggles. While they seem to be having a good time, Ryan's standing next to them, sipping a drink. He doesn't look like he's as happy as he was earlier, though. What a handful indeed. Someone ought to keep that thing on a leash. Come on, guys, he's not that bad. I wasn't insulting him. Oh, incoming. Redline staggers up, just absolutely coated in either sweat or ocean water. He's still giggling, and his abs are as red as the blush on his face. Guys, hang on! Hi, Bucky and Doctor! It's hard for him to get a word in between his heavy panting and giggling. I'm gonna be right back! Ryan's in a bad mood, so I thought of something that will cheer him up. And without waiting for a response, the little guy sprints off out the door, the wet pitter-patter of his paws trailing away. I've never seen him this energetic. Have you met the guy? He's on some kind of high all the time. Only a few times, but even then, he's at least a little more mellowed out. He does loosen up a lot at the parties. Not that the rest of you ever show. I find ways to keep his trap shut while he's working out. Hard to keep chattering when you can barely breathe. Just as long as you... Oh, good lord. The beach volleyball player from earlier strolls by, his muzzle held up in the air. His paw keeps it pinched shut, but the blood is still coming out. Hey, bud, are you alright? Don't do that. Drayden leans the dog forward, and he says something gobbled by the blood in his snout. The doctor huffs and leads him towards the door. Sorry guys, I'll be right back. Come here, I'll get you taken care of. As Drayden reaches the exit, the door slams open, with Redline waddling back in, holding a watermelon? Let's smash some melons! The crowd goes silent, mostly from the shock of the door slamming open and Redline yelling, and after a few seconds, someone speaks up. But you only have one melon. I only have one! But it'll be fine! Ah, sunset. Redline drags a crowd of people down to the shore, splaying out a beach towel and setting the watermelon in the center. It's about the size and shape of a medicine ball. Why is it all round? Shouldn't they be like an egg shape? You're like an egg shape! Bruce's expression scrunches up as Redline drags Ryan into the circle of people. The lizard's holding a different cup of alcohol, and judging by the steadiness of his stance, he seems to be pretty hammered. Hey, quit grabbing me! Come on, dude, it'll be fun! It's just like my favorite anime where I don't want to play your fucking dumb bullshit! The lizard tugs his arm back and storms off, chugging the rest of the contents of his cup. Redline just lets out a giggle and wanders over to a chair. He pulls out a wooden baseball bat from underneath. Who wants for a swing? Before anyone can speak up, Redline stumbles back into the circle, raising the bat over his head and slamming it down onto the watermelon. It makes a dull thud, but ultimately does not move. The crowd seems a little confused, and the more people that join the circle, the less people seem to understand. Xander! All eyes turn to me. My ears flip down as Ren marches in my direction, swinging the bat lazily from side to side. Are you picking any of this up? Kinda. Should he be swinging that around like that? It's your turn! Redline yanks me into the center, wrapping a piece of cloth over my eyes, and starts turning me in place. Do I get a say in this? Shut up, Zan! It's Solstice! Yeah, shut up. It's Solstice. Solstice isn't for like 4 months. Hey, can you chill with that spinning? With the spinning? Redline giggles and spins me a few more times until I'm genuinely thoroughly dizzy. He shoves the bat into my hands with enough force to almost knock me over. Now swing! At the melon. At the melon! I can't see it. Go forward 4 steps and swing. No! You'll hit me! I really don't know if I believe either of you. Go forward 5 steps and then swing. And I definitely don't believe you. That gets a chuckle from both of them. The crowd actually seems into it now, talking amongst themselves or laughing as I stumble around. Few of them shout out commands, which way I need to go and when to swing. There are a lot of conflicting commands, Redline giving out some more of the consistent ones, so I find myself relying mostly on him. If I can piece him out from under the crowd. Okay! No! Now? No! Now, I guess. I raise the bat over my head, and slam it down directly in front of me. Whenever I hit, it doesn't feel like a melon. I swipe the blindfold off, and see the bat pressed firmly against the towel next to the melon. The crowd makes some sounds of lighthearted disappointment, but Redline stumbles forward, giggling about how close I was. He swipes the bat from my hands and starts swinging it wildly over his head. Who's next? Who wants to go next? I got it. Come here, Runt. Redline's ears fold and his tail flickers, but he's smiling bigger than ever as Bruce steps forward and snatches the bat from Redline's weak grasp. You gotta spin around first. Spin around? Yeah, like a piñata, and you get more points if it's a clean break. Yeah, alright, sure. Let's spin you around. Bruce gives a dark grin as he starts spinning Redline in place. Lean starts to protest, but after a few turns, he stumbles off to the side and gets caught by a crowd member, giggling like a drunk idiot. So I just gotta break the melon. Bruce steps up to the plate, twisting the bat in his grip. He's got an evil look in his eyes. Wait! You gotta spin too! Redline protests, but he's giggling the whole time. Bruce rolls his eyes and twirls in place on one foot. There, I spun too. And after we spin around... we smash the melon! In a single deft motion, the baseball bat streaks through the air, like a bolt of brown lightning striking down on a collision course with the watermelon. The crowd stands in stunned silence, seeing the baseball bat split in two over the watermelon. The broken half flies off to the side, pitching itself into the sand next to my feet. Bruce, too, manages to express shock, anger, concern, confusion, all at once. He tosses the other half of the bat to the side. Redline, on the other hand, is howling with laughter. What the hell, Red? The champ reaches down to grab the melon, but his hands slip when he tries to lift it. He reaches again, clutching it from below and scowling as he stands up with the melon cradled to his chest. What? The fuck is this thing? The fuck is this thing made of? Why is it so goddamn slimy? Bruce drops the melon, and it thumps into the sand. A distinct green streak runs up Bruce's forearms and hands, the same color as the melon. The melon, on the other hand, seemed to have leaked its color all over the dino's scales. Redline once again howls laughing. Bucky moves forward and wipes the melon clean with the towel it was sat on before. You know, that gif of Eddie laughing is very appropriate for this situation. Red, this is just one of Drayden's medicine balls, painted green. When was I supposed to get a watermelon down here? What the hell is wrong with you? It looked like fun! The crowd just sort of dissipates. Some of them laughing, some of them seemingly disappointed that there was no watermelon. Bucky hands Bruce the towel to wipe the paint off. Did Drayden give you permission to paint his equipment? Redline just laughs harder and tries to wink, closing both eyes separately before scooping the medicine ball up. It'll be our little secret. You guys up for some volleyball with this thing? Sure, I'll spike it into your face. You want to join that other guy with Drayden? Even more snickers from the Yin as he scampers back up to the rest of the party. 3 of us follow behind. Bruce lets out a sigh. Was really looking forward to that melon. Can you just go up topside and get one-on-one? Can you just go up topside and get one on one of your days off? You probably got plenty of vacation days from beating my ass. The Nana stops in his tracks, silent for a moment. He starts to say something, then Bucky chimes in. Oh yeah, you boys got your fight coming up. You nervous? I don't know how to answer that. Obviously, it feels weird to admit that when Bruce is standing right here. Bruce is also silent, now walking closer behind us. He inhales like he's about to say something, but ultimately breathes out, defeated. Jeez, that nervous, huh? Makes sense that a big lug like you would be scared of my pride and joy. Bruce lets out a quiet sigh as we reach the top of the ramp up to where the rest of the partygoers are. Yeah. The party goes on for a bit, the music getting louder the later the night goes on. Someone dims the lights. The sky? It turns to nighttime eventually, but people are still raring to go. Even Ryan looks like he's having a nice time. Redline managed to convince people, Bruce included, to play Spin the Bottle. Well, his modified version of it. Whoever the bottle lands on has to play Truth or Punch, where you have to tell a truth or get punched in the gut. Most of the guys pick Punch on their first turn, then Truth after. Once they got a hard question, they just went back to punching each other. Seems alcohol really gets these guys fired up. Drayden finally returns with the volleyball victim. The poor guy's muzzle had to get bandaged up before he can get back to jamming out with his buds. He and Bucky actually just wandered off to go for a little walk on the beach. I find it hard to drown out the pounding of the music, even if my party anxiety has boiled down to a simmer. Staring out into the ocean helps keep me calm. I wish I came here more often. It's probably the closest I'll get to a beach vacation at this rate. Hey. Bruce approaches from the side about 6 or 7 feet away. His back against the wall, lying in this patio looking out over the beach. Hey. He responds in silence. A breath inhales, then a pause, and a slow exhale. Enjoying the party? You barely hear him under all the music. Not really my thing. Bruce grunts under his breath and sips a bit from his cup. When's the next weigh-in? Don't need one. Don't need one? Nah. Any particular reason? They don't tell me everything. You know as much as I do. When were they planning on telling me? Again, no clue. All Ted told me is that they won't need any more pictures. They took enough pics and videos of our fights to get whatever marketing bullshit they need, so we don't need to do the weigh-ins anymore. Oh. Sorry. He grumbles. Don't go apologizing to me. Never liked going to those fucking things anyway. Bruce turns his head to a cluster of people. At least Red is enjoying himself. He does that a lot. Yeah, he talks a lot too. You don't gotta remind me. I managed to get a chuckle from Bruce. Yeah, he talks a lot about his friends. Says a lot of nice stuff about you too. And I bet he'd be nice to you even if you were as mean as you think you are. So, you know. Maybe you can chill the fuck out, yeah? Okay. Blunt, but I like it. Our eyes meet for a split second, then he turns away. Why are you telling me all this? I don't know. You seemed pretty worried about it a while back, after the haircut and all. After the haircut? The trim? I remember getting really high from the meds and someone carried me to my room, but that... Wait. What are you... Attention, everybody! It's Ryan's birthday! The music dims down as everyone turns to Redline. Ryan is laughing uncomfortably as people start to cheer and wish him a happy birthday. Dude, it's not my birthday. You're drunk. No, you're fucking hammered, dude. They start to stammer about who's more drunk. Bruce and I wandered up to the crowd, if only to observe Red being a giggly mess. Alright, everyone, shut up. It's not my birthday. He yells the words with some deadly serious conviction, but goes back to smiling after. A chill creeps up my spine. Easy, dude. If it's not your birthday, then why are we celebrating? The lizard sort of scowls and chugs his cup while Redline rambles. Because I know you... you didn't quit. What the hell are you talking about? A big grin spreads across Redline's face. Come on, you know I get around. I know that you got fired. The crowd's rambles drop to a whisper, all eyes on the hyena. You got fired because you're so mean and you beat everyone up in the gym. Well, I don't think you're mean. You're a lizard, man. You've got that tough skin. Or are you some kind of snake? Either way, it's a fun party. Are you gonna celebrate when you leave? Or get some stupid, shitty job where everyone forgets who you are? Your friends are all down here living their dream, and your family doesn't want anything to do with you. What the hell is someone like you supposed to do? Maybe you can start your own gym and have them all beat each other too. Ryan's fist crashes into Redline's muzzle, forcing him backwards as everyone around springs into action. A dozen or two drunk, angry men try to engage, whether it's to defuse or swing on instinct. Someone catches Redline, and Bruce immediately charges into the fray. The dino grabs Ryan, pulling him into a chokehold and holding him away from Redline. Everyone cool the fuck down! Whatever yelling, moving, fighting had broken out stops instantly. Bruce's booming voice silenced the crowd, save for one thing. Redline, propped up in someone's arms, giggling like a hyena. Ryan tries to struggle, swinging at Bruce's arms, but I can tell his chokehold is firm. The lizard starts to resist less and less as seconds pass. I'm cool! He taps out, desperately slapping against Bruce's bicep to signify he's submitted. Bruce doesn't budge, dragging Ryan off to one side behind the crowd. Everyone else starts to mull around, the crowd dissipating. What the hell is going on? Bucky charges in, first to the giggling Redline, then over to Bruce and Ryan. I can hear him shouting something, drowned out by the music. An exhausted Drayden comes jogging up shortly after, and he is considerably out of breath. The doctor immediately rushes to Redline, who gets passed off into Drayden's arms. Xander, can you give me a hand? I don't like hearing... Xander, can you give me a hand? I don't like hearing this panic in his voice. I too followed up, and after some awkward positioning, we managed to get Redline lifted up onto my back. Drayden leads the way, marching straight out of the immersion chamber. It's a long, silent walk from the beach to the medbay. Silent, save for Redline's constant, incessant giggling. I'm almost scared. I knew Hyenas laughed a lot, but this doesn't feel natural. He sounds nervous, scared. Weird to think that just a few weeks ago I was in a similar position, getting carried away by Redline after the whole bench press incident. Maybe this is how he felt. Maybe he didn't carry me away out of pity. Maybe he was just scared for me. But soon enough, we make it to an empty room, and I manage to deposit the giggling Yin into her bed. Keep him there. I need to go grab something to stop the bleeding. The doctor leaves, and I'm left alone with Redline. He's still going, laughing like a car engine turning over and over and over and over again. A part reaches out to me. I let it fall flat, and it reaches out again. For the first time since the punch, the Redline looks at me. He's crying. I've seen him cry from laughter before, but this isn't the same. Dad! I'm not sure what's come over me. His desperate attempts to pull me closer, to grab me, to have me near him. I step closer, and Redline yanks me into him, his arms locking behind me. I do the same. His laughter falters for a second, only getting louder as his muzzle rests on my shoulder. He swallows, and he laughs. The laughter chokes as he cries. Redline clutches me, his full weight pressing against my body as he folds forward, and he sobs. I'm so sorry. I fucked it up again. Again? Every few sobs, he slips back into laughter, only to cling to me tighter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep doing this. I tense my arms a bit, completing the hug. This only manages to make him sob harder. It's okay. You'll be okay. My hand rubs up and down his backside gently. For a moment, his sobs are heavy, weary, exhausted. A few seconds pass, though, and he starts to come down. The cries produce the sniffles and the occasional drunk hiccup. After a moment, Drayden comes back with a wall of gauze. I pull away, leaving Redline's shrunken arms to fall flat. He almost falls forward too, but Drayden catches him and holds him in place. Sorry. Drayden bundles up a bit of gauze and holds it over the bleeding nose. It's okay, Red. Sorry. It's alright. You're okay. I need you to stay awake for me, okay? Yes, sir. Sorry. Shh. You're alright. His voice is so warm and soft, like a father comforting a child. Xander, could you please wait in my office? It's down the hall, last door on the right. I don't need to question him. I make my way out and head into the empty room. It looks identical to any of the other examining rooms I've been in. I'm starting to wonder if he just claimed this one as his office. After a few moments pass, Drayden strolls in and shuts the door behind him. Sorry about that, Xander. Are you feeling alright? I'm fine. Just a bit shaken up. How's Redline? He drops down in a seat. Nosebleed, but nothing broken, thankfully. He'll be alright. Right. I take a beat. I'm not sure how to address this. And the crying? Right, you saw that. It's, Just then, the door creaks open, and a familiar kangaroo peeks his head in. He darts to Drayden, then notices and smiles at me. Ah, you've got company. I can come back later. No, it's fine. How are things? Bucky steps in and closes the door quietly behind him. He sets a large medicine ball, roughly the size and shape of a spherical watermelon, on the examining table. And where did you get that? One of the great mysteries of our world, Drayden, dear. We got Ryan sorted, for the most part. Security got called to take him back up to his room. Bruce is clearing out the party. Wanted to check in on Red, but the lights were off, so, Drayden sighs and leans back in his chair. Bucky just stands there, awkwardly, both of them silent for a moment. Is this something that happens often? The punching? No, not with Redline at least. Drinking? Yeah. Redline drinks? Yeah. You probably don't see it too much, since alcohol isn't allowed outside of parties. I never really know how to approach him about it either, since you Tier 1 fighters aren't normally even allowed at the parties. Is he an alcoholic? Drayden and Bucky both avert their eyes. It's hard to say. If he had unrestricted access to alcohol, it's a possibility. At the very least, he cuts loose a bit too hard. At this point, it's a pattern, and it's not a pattern I like seeing, or hearing about. I don't really go to the parties either, so... It's been weeks since he called me Buck. Well, aside from the party, but he's pretty wasted, so I don't count that. I've seen him alone more often than not these days. Normally he's got his group of friends buzzing around, but lately, not so much. But I know when there's a party, he goes wild. Big guy like Bruce could handle 4 or 5 big drinks in one night, no problem. But Red's about a third of his weight. He's downing 6 or 7. I feel like he's overcompensating. He's way more lively at those parties than he has been in the last month. Pair that drinking with his anxiety and depression, and you... He clears his throat and looks to Bucky. But that's still something we need to talk to him about, so... Anxiety. Drayden looks like he said something he shouldn't have. Whatever happens, we all know Ryan was out of line. Security's taking care of him. He'll be out of the facility for good tomorrow. What Redline said, was that true? About Ryan getting fired? Bucky sighs and looks away. Yeah, he was spot on with that. After what he did to you in my class, we had that little chat, where he went on to threaten me and a few other folks. We put up with a lot of bullshit down here, but threatening staff is a major no-go. Managed to get in touch with the commissioner, well, Ted, and they went ahead and cut Ryan off completely. I don't get it. He wasn't this bad when he started. After a dozen years? I don't know. Guess it'll do shit to ya. It could be a case of CTE. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Bucky nods, but I think Drayden can see my blank expression. Drayden leaning forward dejectedly as he continues. It's, I'm sure your boys know a thing or two about it. It's a degenerative brain disorder caused by trauma to the skull. Take too many hits to the head, and your brain tissues start folding more and more. Over the years, they just stop working right. Jesus. I knew head injuries were a serious thing, but hearing it described like that, it's scary. Ryan's been to the medbay more often than most fighters, and he's been down here longer than most too. That sounds like the perfect combination for CTE. Is there any way to know for sure? The doctor sighs. No. There's no way of knowing for sure until people can examine his brain, and that requires an autopsy. But the mood swings, the violent tendencies, I don't know, it seems like the textbook definition. Too many coaches down here don't give a shit about this kind of thing. Full contact sparring, this stupid focus on being manly and toughening out injuries. Bucky clenches his fists. They encourage this shit. It makes me fucking sick. So, what can we do? What can he do? Nothing. Best we can do is make him aware of it and, I don't know, offer some support system? Bucky scoffs. Doubt Fang is gonna give him the time of day once they can't milk his concussors for money anymore. Just another body to throw on the fire to keep the lights on. And pay for the commissioner's fucking vacation homes. 3 of us are silent for a long time, save for the buzzing of the fluorescent lights above us. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I even want to say anything. Redline's in the next room over, sleeping the alcohol off. Hope he's sleeping well. God, all of that just really makes me scared. There's a lot of problems with Fang. Anyway, another week passes. Another fight night. This one feels like it's arrived much sooner than the last. Even though it's only my 3rd fight, I feel weird not doing the weigh-in or any sort of promotional lead-up to the fight. Before I joined Fang, they took a bunch of pictures and videos of me to use for marketing, and their PR people handle everything. It lets us focus on nothing but the fight. At least I don't have to deal with any sort of press, or, God forbid, Bruce. How are you feeling? Nervous. Alright, aside from that. Kinda cold, I guess? It is pretty chilly down here, yeah. The party last week sent a bit of a ripple through the facility. Some people knew Ryan more than others, but everyone heard what happened to Redline. He was around for a day or two after, but I've been pretty much alone since then. Redline's barely shown his hide. I don't blame him. That must have been pretty embarrassing to find out after he'd sobered up. It feels weird. Bruce wasn't around as much, and Redline only really went straight to and from classes. I don't even know if he's watching my fight. Not that it really matters. I'm not feeling super confident about the fight this time around, and I probably shouldn't tell Bucky that. Fuck, it really is cold down here in these hallways. More like catacombs. Are you gonna be alright? Yeah, maybe the heat of the lights in the ring will warm me up. Or the heat of Bruce's blood on your fists. Just trying to warm you up, bud. Come on, this is a fight. Right. Zan, come here, bud. He kneels down in front of me. It's been a heavy month. It has. But none of that is gonna fuck with you in the ring. Right. Zan. What? He grips my arms tight, not hard enough to hurt, but firm enough to get my attention. What are you gonna do in there? Same as last time. Not the same. Not the same. We can adapt to what Bruce did. You were so close last time. I know you can do it. We've been practicing. You've been working your ass off. He shakes me gently in his arms. You're gonna knock him the fuck out, alright? I dart my eyes away. Yeah. The kangaroo stares at me with an earnest smile and lets out a quiet sigh. I think he knows I don't believe him either. That's the spirit, Xander. I step onto the elevator with the attendant, and Bucky stands there, silent as the doors close. It feels quieter than normal on the ride down. I haven't seen Bruce since the party, and before that, since our talk in the gym that night. I feel like I fucked something up, but I don't know what. There's something missing. Maybe it's Bruce? He doesn't like this situation any more than I do. Okay, that might be a lie. He's probably a lot less scared for his life than I am. Maybe it's Redline? It's been pretty absent for a while now. It's made the room a lot quieter, but it just feels different. It feels wrong. Something is wrong, and I don't know what, and I'm scared. But I guess I have to find now. The attendant was silent the whole way down. I guess he knows what I have to deal with. Maybe he'd feel uncomfortable speaking up. Or maybe he's silent out of the respect for the dead. Who knows? The lights come up, but my chin stays down. Maybe everyone at home will think I'm meditating. Or praying. The irony of that. Maybe some god will have mercy and make this my last fight. And speak of the devil, Bruce's elevator door dings, and the man of the hour stomps out. He's also looking pretty quiet, mouth wielded shut in a scowl. He raises a fist as he enters, soaking in whatever cheers the crowd at home might be giving him. I remember his walkout music was pretty cool, back when I would watch his fights. But for once, he's quiet. Bruce moves to the center of the ring and scowls at me. There's pain in his eyes. Not too chatty today, huh? No fun little quips or scathing commentary on my size? Nothing? He turns his eyes away and sighs. Nah. I gotta end this quick. Got something else to take care of tonight. He's not even trying to make a show out of it. Is he bored of this? What, are you not even gonna try? The dinosaur sighs and brings his hands to a fighting position. Let's just get this over with. It's like he's not even interested. Like he thinks he's better than me. I'm out here trying not to die, doomed to a life of this bullshit. He's just coasting through it? I don't know what's come over me, but I charge in, lunging for Bruce. He sends a punch forward as I move, but I lean to the side. The fist meets air, his thick arm only centimeters from my head. His free hand is still defending his face, and for a split second, Bruce's body is completely unprotected. My uppercut launches deep, meeting its mark in the center of Bruce's midsection. The dino grunts, his body leaning forward slightly and immediately straightening back out. He turtles up, crouching down with his guard covering his face and body. It's tough to move when you're postured like that, but even tougher for your opponent to get in. At this point, I've already circled around him, positioned near the center of the ring. His eyes peek out from over his gloves, taking careful steps towards me. I know his range at this point. I have to make sure he doesn't get close enough to damage me without me being able to retaliate. I have to wait until he's got an opening, then I can go in. The two of us circle each other for a bit. He's trying to hunt prey, but I won't let him. Every blow he throws, I dodge. Every step he takes, I take my own. I have to keep pace before he gets the upper hand. He can't keep turtling forever. Even if he peeks out from behind his guard to throw a punch or two, I keep moving, not only to evade the punches, but also to keep myself from getting cornered. Our dance comes to an end when Bruce scowls and uncurls from his guard slightly. Stop making this harder than it has to be! His speed increases, and he rushes forward with 2 blows to the body. I can't move any further back. I have to stand my ground. Those fists collide with my guard, crashing painfully against my elbows. If you would just... Ugh! Whatever he was going to say got cut short by my fist slamming his jaw shut. The uppercut rocks his skull for a second, and he looks back down at me with a scowl. So you're not... Again, interrupted with my fist straight to his snout. Bruce lets out a snort, a bit of blood loosened up from his nose. Fine. His arms shoot out, wrapping around my head before I can manage to circle out. I bent forward, my head tucked into his chin as I struggled to shove him away. I know my heels are against the back line, but if I step over them, there's no guarantee I'll be able to get back in bounds in time. I swing a hook for his body, and after taking it with a grunt, he takes a step back, dragging me with him, but keeping his body outside my arm's reach. Sorry. He spoke under his breath, loud enough for only me to hear. He's sorry? Sorry for what? Oh! Fuck! Bruce drives a knee up into my abs, plowing clean through any resistance I try to give, like a battering ram bursting through my defenses. I almost feel my back bolt out as I double over his tree trunk of a thigh. Instantly, oxygen leaves my body, forced out by the champion. I still cling to his arms, with some sort of hope that I can come back from this. I pull and pry with all my might, until finally, a second knee cleaving into my midsection again. I can't even react before a third, then a fourth, then a fifth land in the same spot. I can feel my body breaking, every muscle giving in as the last bits of strength, defiance are slammed out through the middle of my back. That calm you down? Motherfucker! I can still fight back. I have to. Bruce releases the clinch and I stumble forward, swinging my fist aimlessly for his body. One connects, but despite his face contorting, it doesn't stop his uppercut from clipping my jaw. It's not heavy, but strong enough to send me off balance. I can't go out. Not like this. I need to cover up and regroup. I can't fight with my head swimming like this. With my guard up, I leave my body unprotected for only a second, which gives Bruce all the time in the world to follow through. In one swift motion, his leg pistons out, landing clean in the center of my abs. Pain explodes out from my center, my lungs empty, my body aching. The kick sends me seemingly soaring backwards, my feet unable to catch me while I stumble. I collapse in a heap, coming to a rest far outside the ring. Whenever this happens on TV, they play a countdown timer. The fighter has 10 seconds to get back in the ring before the fight ends. I have to move. I need to move! Please! Every ounce of my body is in agony. A single knee from Bruce would drain even a top fighter's stamina try. He gave me 5. Son of a bitch. I reach forward, forcing heavy breaths as I start to crawl to the ring. I'm sick of him, of his shitty attitude. He thinks he's better than me and he's not even fucking trying. Every day I'm giving more and more of myself to this place, and I can't even get a fucking day off. And when I get a break, it's because this fucking animal breaks me in half. I am not going to let him coast by like this. I can't do that. If I have to die like this, then I'll make him work for it, bit by bit, piece by piece. Every drop of blood I shed will stain the ground he stands on, and I'm going to make him regret it just as much as I do. And I'm going to make him as scared of me as I am of him. I managed to crawl to the ring's edge. I don't know how long it's been. Everything hurts. It all hurts so much. I shouldn't be able to pick myself up. And yet, I lift up one knee, and I turn my head. Bruce is looking down at me. He's not mad. He's not smiling. He looks like he's hurting. His eyes close, and before I know it, he steps down on me. Ugh! My body gives no resistance. I collapse under him. As I fall, the bell rings, signaling the end of the fight. The foot was firm, but not as forceful as the stomp he used to break my ribs last fight. It's as if he's putting his foot down, giving an end to the fight for good. Bruce once again holds up his fist in victory, soaking in whatever tears people were giving at home. But the silence of not only the arena, but Bruce as well, feels eerie. He holds the pose for a short moment, then steps off. He backs away for a step as I struggle to lift myself up. I need to at least be able to stand, right? right foot up, and... Fuck! I can't even get my breathing steady. My muscles have gone limp. Absolutely no strength behind any of my movements. Bruce hesitates, glaring down at me, then turns to walk back to his elevator. The doors on my side open as well, and Bucky charges out. Coach... Shh, you alright? Come here, big guy. His voice is gentle, as are his hands. As he reaches down under my form, with hardly any difficulty, Bucky hoists me over his shoulder and turns towards my elevator. I get a good view of Bruce's backside as he strolls to his door. He's been silent for so long. Not even a taunt. He's not even trying. He didn't even have to. Hey. Bruce stops, already inside his elevator. Fuck you. You can't even bother to take this seriously. Is all this just nothing to you? Bruce takes a deep breath, then turns to look at me. The doors close. Bucky pats my back and moves us into the elevator. Easy, Tiger. You took a beating out there. I know. I want to say. It's taking all my energy to breathe enough to keep myself conscious. My blood is racing, but I can't do anything about it. Maybe I should just rest. I'm going to take you to the med bay. It didn't look like you took too much internal damage, but draining's gonna make sure. You did good out there. You fought your hardest. But Bruce didn't. He's given up. It's not a fight for him anymore. Maybe it never was. Maybe I just needed some rest. It's about 3 in the morning, and I'm feeling restless. My blood is simmered down, but there's too much on my mind. It's hard to sleep after a fight like that. Trina said it didn't seem like there was anything broken, but with how thick Bruce's knee is, they took some scans just to make sure. I'm sleeping in the med bay just for the night. I'm way too tired. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. I caught a glimpse of the bruise on my body and almost got sick just from looking at it. And sitting up, it hurts to even breathe. I don't know when I'll be able to sit upright without it aching again. Fucking asshole. He could have ended it in 2 seconds if he wanted to. Excuse me. Sorry. Let me try that again. He could have ended that in 2 seconds if he wanted to. Why didn't he? Why has he been weird for the whole month, ever since that night in the gym? Whatever. I need to roll over and get some sleep. Or at least try to. My ears twitch, and I hear my door creak open. I want to sit up and see who it is, but the massive purple patch on my abs makes that impossible, so I roll over instead. Bruce is standing there, peeking inside my room. Our eyes meet, and he looks surprised. The dinosaur hesitates, then opens the door and shuts it behind him. Hey. He looks around, feigning interest in the room. Bruce clears his throat and looks away awkwardly. How are you feeling? Get out. He sighs, and for a moment, he looks like he's about to exit. Listen. This has to stop. You need to leave. This is my room. No, you need to go. You need to leave Fang. I don't know how much longer I can keep pulling my punches without someone noticing. If this keeps going on, you're going to get hurt. I know that, but you and I both know what Theodore said on the first night. Right, the contract. He takes a shaky breath in and exhales slowly. If you leave right now, I'll pay your contract fees. Set up a payment plan, whatever it takes. But you need to leave tonight. You need to never come back. I stare at him, the silence swirling between us. You'll pay my fines? Yeah. You know how much they cost. I know. It's a lot. But I can make it work. Fighting you, it's not worth it. Not like this. We both turn our eyes away, thinking about the offer. Alright. Chad, this is actually a branching route. So, if you're playing along and you're at this point, I highly recommend making a save. I do know, the alternate route, and they make it easy for you to return to this point. So, in order to see this alternate route, we have to accept the offer. He's right. I can't afford to stay here any longer. I have to leave. If I keep fighting, I'm going to end up getting myself killed. Alright. He stares at me for a second. Yeah? Yeah, you're right. This is my only way out. There's no way I can win, and there's no way they'll let you play nice with me forever. So, this is the only thing that makes sense. Bruce lets out a short sigh. He snatches the clipboard attached to the foot of my hospital bed and looks it over. Looks like you're good to go. They just wanted to keep you overnight to let you cool down. Get up. We have to get moving. You go to your room and get all your shit together. I'll meet you by the elevator. Same one you took to the fight tonight. You remember how to get there? That series of hallways is like a maze, but I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going. Yeah. Good. On your way to and from your room, do not look at anyone. Do not talk to anyone. If someone asks you what you're doing, you keep walking. Got it? That sounds fine by me, but... what do I do with Redline? He'll probably be sleeping. He's not. How do you know that? He's at the beach. I let him use my code so he doesn't catch flack from the boss. Is that where he's been the past month? You think now's the best time to be asking questions? Security gets lax this time of night, but we don't have time to fuck around. Fine. This is it. This is my only opportunity. I'm finally getting out of here. No more Bruce. No more death matches. No more Redline. No more constant nagging and pulling and yammering and forced conversations. I can get some peace and quiet, and I can go back to ignoring everyone that pisses me off. I finally got my ticket out of this prison. This tomb. Bruce had it all along. He could have set me free after that first fight. This was his fault all along. He owes this to me. If I have to suffer, then he deserves to suffer too. It doesn't take long for me to pack my things. Not that I had many things to begin with. Pile all my workout clothes into my duffel bag, grab my phone and charger, and make for the door. One look back. It's sad, really. Pathetic, even. I don't belong here. I never did, no matter how hard anyone tried. I know my place now. It's not here. Fucking stupid of me that I could ever make a career out of this. The door closes softly behind me, making sure to keep as quiet as possible. I can't risk waking anyone up. Redline probably misses having a room all to himself anyway. I know I do. I feel like I'm being really loud right now. I can't shake the feeling that everyone here knows exactly what I'm doing. This is all a huge setup. That sounds like something Bruce would do, actually. Prick. Or maybe this is him being genuinely nice. Whatever. He's the reason I have to go through all this in the first place. I have to meet him by the arena doors. I know the way there. They're right next to the immersion chamber. Just have to slip in quick and... Stand? I freeze. Bucky is in the hall behind me. Hey, Xander, you going somewhere? If there's something on your mind, we can talk about it. You know you can talk to me about anything, Xander. You going somewhere? Shut the fuck up. Bucky knows I'm wasting my time down here, And he's wasting my time by enabling this bullshit. There's no way he actually thinks I could win this fight. Bucky and Drayden are encouraging it. Redline's fucking annoying, and Bruce is just letting it happen. You can talk to me about anything. What good is talking going to do? Talking won't fix this. Nothing will fix this. There's nothing to fix. This shit has been rigged from the start. Nothing else to do but bail. I make my way to the elevator door, and Bruce is standing guard in front of it. All set? Yeah. Anyone see you? No. No one. Good. Get in. We step in, and the elevator kicks to life, this time, bringing us upward. Bruce is the last person I want to be in an elevator with, but he's my only ticket out of here. And he's quiet, too. So, my eyes stare through the door. Sorry. For what? For taking so long. For letting it come to this. Whatever. He takes a breath, like he wants to say something, but huffs it out of his snout. We ride the elevator in silence. Even if I wanted to talk, I don't know what else there is to say. I want to scream at him. I want to hurt him. I want him to die. I want Bucky and Drayden to feel helpless and scared and confused like I was. I want Redline to get a fucking life and leave me alone. I want my parents to burn in hell. I want Ryan to eat shit. I want every creep out and head kick to get brain damage in a fight. I don't know. I want to die. I want to stop hurting so much. I want to know why I feel so empty. I don't know what I want anymore. The elevator stops. The door opens. It's different from the elevator I took when I started here. I don't recognize this place. There'll be a taxi here in a minute. I got you a motel for a week, and then you're on your own. Okay. I step out of the elevator, taking in a deep breath of that fresh, cool night air. I'll take the heat and make sure Fang's lawyers don't hound you. Just keep a low profile and you'll be fine. Okay. A breeze blows. I shiver. Alright, I guess this is goodbye. Bye. Bruce huffs out a sharp breath. Good luck out there. Okay. There's a beat of silence, and the doors close. I'm alone. The sounds of the city have died down for the night. It's too silent. My head is buzzing. I can feel the static trying to tear its way out of my skin, but I don't feel anything else. I don't feel anything. The taxi takes an hour to show up. Figures Bruce couldn't even get that handled right. I managed to get my old job stocking shelves. At least it has some amount of steady income, even if my hours got cut. My old apartment got rented out, and I had a bit of trouble finding some place I could afford. I'd rather die than go back to my parents, so I spent a few months bumming around at a 24-hour gym until I found a roommate. At least Bruce did keep his promise. I haven't heard from anyone from Fang since that night. Nothing from Bucky or Drayden. At least I see Bruce back to fighting men in his weight class. He looks like he's enjoying it. I haven't seen Redline at all. Even now, months after leaving, I haven't seen him get any fights. I even looked up some of his old amateur matches. He was really good. But now he's just gone. I can't face the guys at my old gym either. They'd ask too many questions about Fang and why I left. Fuck them. Fuck all of them. I don't need anybody. Some days I wonder what things would be like if I didn't take up Bruce's offer. If I stayed at Fang, if I kept fighting, if I did anything differently. Part of me wishes I could go back, but I've made up my mind. That part of my life is over. This is the path I've chosen. Yeah, If you commit to this route, the game closes on its own, signaling Xander's decision. Like, that honestly gave me chills. Like, that was a really good touch. Yeah, that was sad. Like, I know Undertale did this, but wow, seeing this in person actually sent a chill down my spine. Well, don't worry, Chad. We're not ending it there. Give me a minute and I'll open up the game again so we can see what happens if we decline Bruce's offer. Which, by the way, if that's not proof enough that Bruce genuinely cares about Xander, I don't know what is. I, I love, I love the guy. He's my favorite character, and as we keep playing, you'll see why. Like, seriously, I can't get over how much I love him. Okay, we're back here. You got out to see the bad ending of this game, and now let's go back to the intended path. Actually, before I do that, I want to take a minute to get up and stretch, so I'll be back in a bit, chat. Alright, I am back. Alright, time to decline his offer and continue with the story. I can't. I don't want to. This isn't his problem. This isn't anyone else's problem. Why should I be a burden for him too? Fuck off. Come on, Xander. I don't want your pity. Pity? It's not... I'm trying to help you out. And let me win. He glares at me and I turn away. I'm not sure why I said that. It just sort of came out. You know I can't do that. Why not? I know. It was selfish to even suggest. But it's selfish of him to keep this going. Bruce steps closer to my bed. To me. The world champion just concedes out of nowhere. Top of his career. Undefeated. Prime of his life. You think the commissioner's just gonna let that happen? Another step closer. I'm sorry. I'm just supposed to throw away my whole career for you. What about my career? Jesus, fine. Sorry for asking. Bruce realizes he's leering right over me, pressed up against my bed. He pauses and takes a few awkward steps back. Just think about it, okay? Sure. Alright. He lingers for a moment, then turns and exits without another word. I feel like I should be mad. I should be pissed. But right now I'm just tired. I'm tired of being in the way. I'm tired of not making any progress. I'm tired of feeling like shit. I'm tired of wanting to die. Maybe I can sleep it off. Sleep didn't help. Sleep hardly helps these days. It barely even felt like sleep, more like being comatose. Good morning, Xander. Ah, the ray of sunshine we need. My eyes pan over to Drayden. Hi. He pauses, looking up from his papers. How are you feeling today? Just tell him. Why fight it? I don't know. I think I'm just tired. Well, after what happened last night, I can understand why. Last night? Did Bruce talk to him too? With Bruce? Drayden looks at me weird. Yes, your fight with Bruce. You took quite the beating. I imagine your abs are quite sore. Right. But according to your charts, you all set. Nothing broken, thankfully. Right. Good. Drayden pauses, tapping his finger against the clipboard. Is something on your mind? Something tells me I shouldn't tell Drayden anything about the talk with Bruce last night. I've kept a few big secrets in my life, and this feels like another. No, just... I think I had a bad dream. Nothing serious, just... You know, Bruce bailing me out of Fang, and I'm alone for the rest of my life, but... you know. I try to give off my most normal, I'm not fine, but in a totally normal and well-adjusted way, face, and it seems to satisfy Drayden. Well, if anything's on your mind, you know I'm always here. Thanks. I try to sit up, groaning as the bruise on my body gets stretched out. Have you seen Redline anywhere? I haven't, no. He wasn't bugging me about the fight last night, and he hasn't burst into my room yet, so I'm... worried for him? It's just weird that he hasn't yet. Yet? Well, I'll let you know if I see him. I thought Bucky was supposed to pay you a visit this morning, though. So something about... Ah! The doors burst open, slamming against the wall. The kangaroo beams as he walks in. Zan! The man! Zan the man! Why is everyone in this fucking league so goddamn loud? A Bucky's holding Redline under his arm like a football. He lifts the hyena in front of him. Hi! Here, take this. No, Bucky, don't! Bucky grunts, thrusting his arms out and up, launching Redline towards me. I don't know if I'm too much in pain. I don't know if I'm in too much pain or if I'm desensitized by this point, and I just watch it happen. I hear if you close your eyes right before the hyena collides with you, your brain tricks itself into thinking you will die. Some people find comfort in this. Redline does an actually impressive flip, landing expertly on his feet only inches from my bed. Haha! Holy shit. I didn't think you would actually stick it. And you threw him anyway? Guess what day it is? Good morning to you too, Redline. He grabs my wrist and shakes him a little bit too rough. Guess what day it is? It's the 22nd of June. And good morning to you as well, Bucky. Morning, Xander. Zan, you gotta guess. A little chuckle escapes my nose. What is it, Redline? It's mail day! He didn't even make me guess. That means? That means we get mail! It's like Solstice! It's like Solstice morning! That sounds exciting. Yeah! The smile on his face and wagging tail is evidence that he didn't catch the sarcasm on my lips. But at least he's happy, so I don't mind. I wanted to let you rest before I talked about the fight last night, but holy shit! Zan! The man! Bucky also charges in, pulling me into a horribly painful hug. With Redline crushed between us, we both let out a yelp, and Redline giggles. Did you see? Ow! See what? You made him bleed! Holy shit, I did. Yeah, you did, bud! He lifts both me and Redline off the ground, shaking us in his vice grip. And you thought he was untouchable! It's not that! I mean, in our first match, I couldn't even make him flinch. I nearly broke my hands on his body. And in your next match, you're gonna break his fucking snout. I'm so goddamn proud of you! Bucky pulses the grip on each word, forcing a wheeze out of both Redline and I. He's like a really proud dad. Can you put me down? I'll hope that was a protest and agreement. Bucky releases the hold and drops both of us. Redline steadies himself on me until his snout straightens out. So you're already making plans for the next fight? Oh yeah, got plenty of ideas on how to beat his ass. Next fight you have is gonna be the last one, I swear. Let's hope he's right about that. Redline shakes himself back to consciousness. Dude, we gotta go! What's the rush, you two? Yeah, breakfast is only like half over. I heard someone say they're making some big announcements. He grabs my hand, practically pulling me out of the room and out in the hall. I didn't even have a chance to say goodbye to Drayden or Bucky. After a second, I finally managed to get my legs working in order. I'm not in any rush, but Red won't even let go of my hand, so I really have to run just to keep up. We managed to get our food and start looking for an empty seat. I spot half a table completely empty next to Redline's friends. Hey, your buds are over there. Redline stops chattering, ears folding back and tail drooping as he starts looking anywhere else. There doesn't seem to be a table that's not a total mess and has two spaces next to each other. He takes a second, then sighs. Oh, sure. And just like that, he's deflated. Redline makes sure to sit at the far end of the table away from the group of friends, who all manage to look at Redline, then mumble something under their breath. He starts picking at his food, a 3-egg omelet, which was downgraded from a 4-egg omelet about 2 weeks ago. Something about budget cuts. Something about budget cuts? Redline seemed a little disappointed at the time. But he also usually scarfs it down, so it probably didn't make too much of a difference to him in regards to taste. Still, it's weird seeing him eat slowly. Something up? Oh, sorry. No, just thinking about stuff. Stuff? Yeah. Like what stuff? Not really sure why I bother with the follow-up questions. It just usually leads to more chattering. The Redline takes pause. It's kinda stupid. Okay. I usually assume that means the end of a conversation, but Redline continues. I haven't gotten a fight in a long while, like a few months before you came down here. I'm starting to get worried they'll fire me. I mean, wouldn't that void your contract? Huh? Your contract. If they fire you, you're not in any trouble or anything. That's only if you quit. Right. That makes sense. Right. So I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Nothing to be sorry for. Is that all you're worried about? He pauses halfway through his bite of omelet and nods. I guess so. Maybe they're scared I'll win too quickly. A smile creeps across his face, and I can see his tail wagging. Finally, he's back to normal. Which means more conversation, or at least it would, if someone didn't start speaking with a microphone. Attention everyone! A cacophony of boos and cheers before the crowd quiets down. I hope we're all enjoying the breakfast this morning. As you all know, it's mail day. Another set of cheers, and it's when I finally noticed the massive table behind Theodore. Stacks of packages, bags of envelopes, with a few staff workers still trying to organize everything. But first, we have some announcements to share. There have been some last-minute changes to the fights coming up. Please listen closely to the updated matches. First off, due to unforeseen circumstances, David will be unable to take his match against Jesse. Jesse's fight will now be with Redline, taking place on the 8th. I turn at Redline, who looks shocked, to say the least. The group next to us also looks at him, but I'm not sure if he notices. Oh! There's a few spare cheers that stick out of the sound of the crowd talking, but Theodore rambles on to talk about the other fights coming up. That's... good? Redline spaces out, looking at his breakfast, muttering quietly. Jesse. He's the Puma, I think. Yes, he's the Puma. Broad shoulders, thick build, plain coloring. Redline? I swear he was middleweight, or did that change? There's like 3 Pumas down here, and they all have J names. Redline. Oh, sorry. What's up? Nothing. You okay? Yep, better than okay. I'm pumped. I'm gonna tell Bucky the good news after breakfast. Redline goes on to talk about Jesse and all his whole fight history that he's somehow managed to recall. Apparently he's a little heavier than us, but around the same height. Good to know for him, I guess. After a few more announcements, Theodore clears his throat. And, a few more things. He pulls out a little cue card. First up, Fang's policy on vacation days is being changed. Furthermore, due to recent events, Fang has made the decision to restrict social media usage on our facility network. Both these changes are made to help facilitate a more focused growth for our fighters. For more details, please review the updated policy that has been sent to your emails. The crowd's confused silence grows to more general complaints. Before it can get too out of hand, Theodore has already trotted away and out the door. Dude, this is bullshit! What the fuck? First change highlighted. We're only getting 1 vacation day per win now. It's bad enough that our pay per fight got halved a few months ago, and now this? And dude, look at this list of blocked sites. Redline draws my attention. He's already pulled out his phone. He's listing off the list of blocked websites. I barely use social media as is, but some of these sites make no sense. It's not just the social media feeds. It's like everything. Streaming sites, video sites, even Headkick is on here. Like, all that's left are some search engines and, I don't know, texting? Calling? They really want us cut off from most of the world, huh? Headkick is probably the one site that everyone down here is familiar with. If that's gone, then... Wait. Is this... my fault? What's up? I used head cake and accidentally broke my contract. The commissioner said he had to work hard to get that cleared up. Maybe it's just... Zan, you okay? Huh? I don't know. I feel like I caused this. What, like, you made them ban all social media? Come on, dude, there's no way. I shake my head. I don't know, man. I met with the commissioner. Oh yeah? The commissioner? How was he? What was he like? He was... intense. I explained my interaction with the commissioner to Redline, who only seems to get increasingly concerned. That... Okay, maybe you did cause all this. That's not very helpful. I mean, it's not a good sign, but like, we can never really know what the reasoning was. Maybe it really is just to, you know, keep us from getting distracted or whatever. Didn't Theodore say something about recent events? What else could that be about? The group of Redline's friends next to us look our way, then start chattering. Something about the social media stuff. Maybe we should talk about this later. Sure. Some other staff member picks up the mic. It starts reading off the instructions on how to pick up mail. They go alphabetically by last name. They call G, and Redline goes up. Hey. Mine's not up for a while, and I doubt I'll have any mail, so... Hello? What's your name? Alan? I turn my head to see who they're talking to. What was that you were saying earlier about the commissioner? I guess he's talking to me. Nothing you need to worry about. Because it sounded like you're the reason we can't use the internet anymore. The way he talks sounds like he's trying to intimidate me. I've seen him in class. He's not really worth the energy. I try to remain silent and hope he goes away. Better hope that kind of shit doesn't spread to other people. Okay. Because I know some guys down here are going to be way more pissed than we are. I'm not even turned to face the guy, and he's still talking. Get a fucking life. Redline strolls back, carrying 3 large boxes stacked on top of each other. They drop down next to the table, and he pulls the first one up in front of him. Jesus. See? Like Solstice morning! The box flips open, and he finds an envelope on top. Oh, for my sister! He tears the envelope, trying to pull the letter out, and then crumples that up as he starts reading the letter. Sup, loser? Here's the rest of... The hyena falters, then his ears lower. His eyes scan across the letter for a second, then he folds it in half and sets it under the box. Well, let's crack this bad boy open! A few layers of bubble wrap, and he pulls out a large rectangular wooden box. Oh, dude! My fight stick! What the hell is a fight stick? There's some sort of joystick on one side, and a bunch of buttons on the other side. He starts fiddling with it. It's a controller for Tales of Fury. It takes up a lot more space than my regular controller, so I couldn't bring it with me. Right. And now where are you planning to store it? He looks down at the controller, then to the 3 large boxes, and his ears fold. Right, I'm sure I'll make it work. It'll be a little tight. Oh, but I'll make sure it stays off your side of the room. It'll be fine. He digs through the box a bit more, finding some clothes and photo albums. Oh, this is my high school art portfolio. Jesus. It flips open, revealing a few pages littered with photographs. I can't really make them out from this angle, but they look pretty artsy. Good God, this is so embarrassing. I tried to make this a portfolio for an application to art school. Can you believe I thought some of this was good? He spits out a laugh, but it tapers off after a second. More pages flip by, but Redline just stares at them wistfully. The book closes, and Redline holds his temple. He looks tired. Hey. Bruce's voice sends both of us sitting straight up. He speaks so suddenly, piercing the noise of the crowd around us. Can I talk to you guys? Need you to come with me for a second. I'm eating. Okay. I can go. Redline and Bruce get up, heading back towards the table stacked with mail. I'm not really that hungry, I just didn't want to deal with Bruce. He's still on my mind from last night. Redline's letter from his family is peeking out from under the box. Should I read it? No, we respect people's privacy in this stream. That's not really any of my business. He didn't want to read it for a reason. I'm a bit curious, but he wants to talk about it, he can. I started flipping through the photo album absent-mindedly. He let me look through it with him a minute ago, so this should be fine. The first few pages are pretty artsy. Flowers, city streets, beaches, a lot of landscape work. It looks nice, I guess? I don't know much about art, but it seems serviceable. The kind of thing I'd see in a furniture store display. Or maybe the placeholder folder that they put in picture frames before you buy them. After a few pages, I started to see some actual people. Probably some candid shots. People in a high school hallway. People walking around on the sidewalk. A bunch of sporting events. I recognize a few of these people. I think that's Orlando. Looks like he's doing some sort of speech. And that's probably his sister doing something in some martial arts. And then... I assume these are his parents, Rain and, Clark? So he seems to be helping him fix his tie. I've seen them both before in that family photo Redline showed me, but this was much less fabricated. They both look almost familiar. But I'm not sure why. His mom looks like Redline, but older. His dad. Something about him makes me anxious, even if it's just a candid photo. Figured I'd take a sip of water while we soak in on the photo. I flipped the photo over. Someone's when Dad can never figure out getting his tire right on it. I slide the photo back into its place and close the book before anyone notices. Eventually, Redline and Bruce come charging in through the side door. His mood seems totally different. Sander, dude, come check this out! Oof! He turns quickly, immediately faceplanting into Bruce's solid body. It should have been me. Hey, I thought you were waiting outside. Nope. Let me help you with your boxes. Redline grabs the box on the table, crumpling up the letter and shoving it in his pocket. Bruce bends down and lifts the other two up, carrying one under each arm. They leave, and I take care of our trays before following them to the hallway. Ta-da! They're standing in front of a little handcart. It's got a big bag of packages and a few dozen boxes of various sizes stacked haphazardly across it. What is this? Bruce's fan mail! He's giving it to us! He looks proud. I don't want it. Come on, Zan. It'll give you something to open. It ain't Solstice if someone can't open a box. It's not Solstice. And why would I want to read the letters about how much people love you? Can't they just end that shit in an email? He rolls his eyes. It's mostly promotional material, gift cards and hats and shit. I don't want it. I figured you two would. Redline bounces with excitement. I might get a new water bottle! There's definitely a water bottle somewhere in here. These fuckers want me to do branded deals left and right. I don't know what's so exciting. I got a water bottle when I signed my fan contract. It wasn't even that good. Whatever. I don't know if we'll have the space for this kind of stuff in our room. I'll store the leftover junk in my room. It's no problem. Bruce looks cool and calm, and I can see his fingers tapping the railing, almost like he's anxious for something. Fine, but you're carrying the cart up the stairs. Okay. We have elevators. That works too. Trying to do 3 different voices is kind of tough. We take the elevator up, then Bruce rolls the cart down the hallway with Redline sitting on the front, chatting away about something. Eventually, we get to our room, with the cart barely squeezing inside. These rooms got smaller, I swear. I don't think it counts since you're like 9 feet tall. Yeah, that checks out. He chucks a box at Redline, who barely manages to catch it and starts to tear it open. Bruce drops onto the foot of my bed next to me. Isn't opening someone else's mail some kind of federal offense? I won't sue. This time. How gracious. Why are you giving us your garbage? Can't a guy do something nice for his BFF? That smile! I love that smile! This is my favorite sprite of Bruce. I love him. And he's calling us his BFF. I love this. Best fighter forever? Bruce lowers his voice. And, you know, maybe I feel like you deserve a break. A bunch of gifts isn't a break. Well, it's the closest thing I've got. You want it or not? Sin! There's 2 water bottles in this one! 2? Pog! I love that sprite too. And that smile! I can't get over it! Both Redline and Bruce look at me, one with genuine surprise and one with feigned excitement. I guess I could use a better water bottle. Fine. Redline tosses a box at me and Bruce, spouting off some facts about his favorite water bottle that he used before we came down here. We spend the next hour or so cracking open boxes, checking out all the brand deals vying for Bruce's attention. Cozies, protein powder, hats, sweat towels. I get all this shit for free in Fang anyway. You guys will too once you get to 2 or 3. Once we get to? Speaking like that's an option for me. After getting through the boxes, Redline, now clad in an unreasonable amount of free branded t-shirts, pulls up the bag of mail, ripping open an envelope. Why do you get so much mail? I didn't even get this much junk mail when I lived topside. Fang filters out all the flyers and shit. Most of the envelopes are about the free swag, but they just talk about the boring terms and conditions. Might be a gift card or something in there though. Could be nice. That was enough to set Redline off, rifling through the bag for any envelope with something hard inside. He's like a raccoon digging through the trash, getting his grubby mitts all over my mail. That doesn't seem to stop him from pulling out a few stacks, tossing them sloppily to both me and Bruce. Bruce was right. Just a lot of lawyer talk, asking for contracts, explaining their gear, how Bruce needs to advertise it. Dumbasses don't really get the situation. Fang prevents me from advertising any other brand unless they get the permission... Let me try that again. Dumbasses don't really get the situation. Fang prevents me from advertising any other brand unless they get the permission from the commish. Yeah, I'd feel bad if I didn't read that ad exactly. I like the rhyming. Redline pulls out an envelope. This one's got handwriting. That means it's personal. Bruce is unfazed. Let her rip. The letter tears open, and a few photographs fall out. Redline scoops them up, looks at them, and starts giggling before planting them face down on the bed. Oh my god, dude! People mail you nudes? Bruce's porcelain face breaks and he laughs. Shit, really? Been a while since someone tried that. I thought people only did that over DMs. Nah, I don't have any social media or anything like that anymore. Got bored of it. Why would I want anyone to know what I'm doing all the goddamn time? But if they can't hit on me in private anymore, guess they figure out some other way to do it. I used to get a lot of ladies with nice bods. A lot of dudes too. Like, a lot of dudes. He even wrote you some kind of love letter. It's kinda cute. Oh yeah, I bet it's real romantic. All the best romances start with showing me their giblets. Okay, but he has a really nice body. Good for him. His tone dies down the more Redline talks. Luckily, he moves on, eventually digging through the last of the mail. Redline's amassed a small pile of gift cards. Looks like it'll save him a pretty penny. I don't even know when you plan on using those gift cards down here. I've been saving up my vacation days. Just, you know, haven't gotten a whole lot of fights lately. Oh yeah, you got one coming up, don't you? Yeah, with Jesse. Gonna need more than a name. Sir, let me just project his face into your mind. Thanks. Oh, I can see him. I love his plumage. He's a puma. Damn, you gotta work on your projection skills. Anyway, he's one of the bigger names in the lightweights. Thought I recognized his name, and his perfect scaly dragon skin. Isn't he way too big to be in with the lightweights? Wait, dragon skin? Sorry, I got a little confused. Like, Jesse doesn't have dragon skin? Anyway, I think he came down from middleweight a while back. He's definitely on the heavier end. And you're on the lighter end. That's true. Some fighting leagues have multiple different weight classes, but Fang simplified it down to 3. Down here, anything below 180 is considered lightweight. Middleweight goes from 180 to 230, and anything above that is heavyweight. Other fighting leagues chop those up to more smaller weight differentials, usually between 10 to 15 pounds per class. Fang's sort of got their edge by being the first to change that. It creates a lot more tension, watching fighters of different weights test their limits. I imagine it makes ending a lot more interesting too. Obviously, if there's a size mismatch, you'll think the bigger guy wins, but that's not always the case. Granted, fights usually get paired close enough to weight 8 that the class limits don't matter too often. But then you get edge classes, like Redline's here. It looks like he's edging around 135, maybe 140 pounds? I didn't receive the projection of Jesse like Bruce did, so I don't know too much about him besides what Redline mentioned earlier. Broad shoulders, thick build. Shoulders. Blech. When Fang announced the condensing of the weight classes, some people raised a stink, saying it was unfair or scary, but most of them just end up adapting. Can't afford to lose their jobs in this economy. Sure, it's more dangerous to fight with bigger weight differences, but at least we have a place to sleep and food to eat, so that makes it all worth it, right? Redline flops backwards onto the discarded envelopes that covered his bed and lets out a sigh. He's probably got, what, like 40 pounds on me? I mean, it could be worse. Yeah, your opponent could have like 180 pounds on you. Bruce's smug smile aimed at me disappears as soon as we make eye contact. 40 pounds is nothing, Red. You're gonna be fine. And I really doubt it'll be that far apart anyway. 20 pounds at most. Redline lets out another sigh. Maybe you're right. 20 is still a lot. Or we can tell Bucky to reschedule the fight. Hyena sits up immediately. Hey now, we don't have to go that far. Bucky never let me hear the end of it. Plus, I really would like to get some more time. Off. There's that confidence. You're gonna make that big cat submit? You kidding me? I'll knock him out. That's a bold claim when someone weighs that much more than you. If it was only about 5 or 10 pounds, that would be doable, but Jess is potentially 30% heavier than Redline. That kind of difference can make a fight a lot harder. But what about you guys? I can feel Bruce freeze over. Or maybe I'm just projecting. Either way, I'm trying not to make eye contact with Bruce. God, it's fucking awkward ignoring someone when I know they're waiting for me to answer. I sigh and look at Bruce. He has definitely been looking at me since Redline asked. Sorry about that. I'll move my phone farther away. I mean, what about us? You two have another fight eventually, right? Wait, your fight was last night! That's why you were in the med bay! I fucking missed it, dude! I'm so sorry! How'd it go? I ended up in the med bay, so... I'm still surprised they made you stay there. I didn't break anything. And you're sure about that? Bruce scoffs and rolls my eyes. Yes, I'm sure. I want to win, not hurt you. So the 6 knees to the gut were what? A warning? I was trying to tire you out. You little guys have too much stamina, so I just wanted to make sure you couldn't keep fighting. But I'm not gonna knock you out again, and I'm gonna make sure I don't, accidentally break something. Oh, so the stopping your second fight was just an accident. Of course it was. Of course it was. I don't stomp on someone unless they deserve it. And with all the shit you're going through, I'm not about to go out of my way to make it worse. So, like, what exactly is going on? I know Xander said it's some weird contract thing, but all the promos are saying he challenged you. Bruce lets out a sigh and leans back on my bed. All I know is that the system glitched out, and now Xander's stuck fighting me, but Fang is framing it like Xander's some rando that has beef with me. We don't have to do weigh-ins anymore, and now they banned any form of social media. Something's off about the whole situation. The computer glitch feels like a really easy fix, and Xander said he talked to the commissioner about it. His ears drooped at the mention of the commissioner. Bruce looks at me. Yeah, want to fill me in on what happened? I only heard bits and pieces. It went about as well as you'd think. He yelled at me about the head kick post. I asked about fixing our fights. He just told me to do what I'm told, or I'm breaking my contract. Sounds about right. So the computer fucks up once, and now he's just letting that slide? Doesn't sit right with me. He's usually pretty picky with the championship fights. I get that a lot of things audiences aren't gonna like hyper-violent fights. That's most of the clientele, yeah. And mismatches are exciting for main events or for the gamblers. But is this still fun for them? Watching the same fight over and over again? Maybe I need to cave your skull in to keep that going. I'm still not a fan of those kinds of jokes. Bruce sighs out. I don't know. I smell bullshit, but I don't know what to make of it. I've asked questions about matchmaking before all this happened, but the old man just shuts me down. And Ted's fucking useless, so yeah, that's where we're at. We just keep fighting? Unless you got any better ideas. We both look over to Redline, who asked the question in the first place. He seems to be deep in thought. Bruce whistles sharply. Oh, whoops. All right over there, Stripes? Oh, yeah, totally just thinking. So are you two, like, friends now? He really needs to stop asking questions. I think this one is on me to answer, given Bruce's extended silence. I want to be friends with Bruce, whether Xander likes it or not. I sigh and look at Bruce. He looks hopeful. I don't know how to say no to people. Well, I do. Quite often, actually. But when someone's trying as hard to reconcile as Bruce, it's hard to keep that going. Well, even though he knocked me out and broke my arm, dislocated, and broke my ribs, and humiliated me a number of times, Bruce looks ashamed. I guess I can try to get past that. If I'm being honest, I don't think I can forgive you for everything that's happened, but you seem just as lost as I am, so maybe you're not the enemy I thought you were. The dinosaur breathes in deeply, and slowly exhales, his chest shuddering ever so slightly. Thanks, Xander. I appreciate it. And for what it's worth, I am sorry for how this is turning out. I wish I had a better solution. Just try not to do too much damage. I'll do what I can. Maybe we can come up with a solution together? Both our heads turn back to Redline. It's strange how quiet he's being, but it's not like I have conversations with other people when he's around, so maybe this is just how he is when he listens? Maybe. Got any ideas? Well, no, but it's not like we're on a time limit, right? You two keep fighting and doing what you need to do, and we'll try to come up with something that fixes everything. I guess it's better than nothing. Problem is, I can't really be seen with you two too often. I'm supposed to hate you, remember? But you're here now. Security's got enough on their hands with mail day, and the rest of the guys won't notice me sneaking off just this once, but I gotta keep up appearances, you know? You really don't. Is it too much to ask him to not be shitty to me around everyone else? But I'll try to find time. See what you knuckleheads can come up with. Anything else you guys need? Redline looks around at the pile of free samples he's waiting in. I think you said something about storing some stuff in your room. Bruce lets out a sigh and smiles, getting up to shovel random junk into a box. Redline picks a few things out, namely a water bottle, a few tank tops, and a fur brush, and the rest gets packed up and loaded onto the cart. Another box gets full of trash, and our room is left only slightly more cramped than it was before. I'll catch you guys later. Take care! I nod at him. Bruce wheels the cart out, and we're left alone. I'm glad he's back to being nice. If you can call that nice. Would you rather he go back to shoving you around the cafeteria? No, I know. His hands are tied. I'm still a little burnt on it, though. I pivot, trying to change the subject. So are you excited for your fight this weekend? Redline looks confused. He said the 8th. That's next week. No, Redline, it's this weekend. You've got 6 days. No, it's... He takes a second to count on his fingers, then stands straight up. 1, 2, 3... I have 6 days?! That's so soon! We gotta go! We? Bucky, go! Now! Redline charges out of the room, but before I can even stand up, he comes back in, grabbing his gym bag and charging out again. I wish there was a sprite for that. By the time I made it downstairs, slowed by the aching in my abs, I can make out the sight of Redline down the hall, walking alongside Bucky and Drayden. His voice is even more clear from this distance, sounding something akin to asking Bucky to hurry. We meet halfway, with Bucky looking like he's ready to kill someone, but in a fun way. Drayden looks... anxious. Xander, what's up, Buck? Bucky pulls Redline into a headlock, forcing a yip from the yin. You're just in time to watch this little mutt get demolished. They start bickering, and I fall in line next to Drayden. Mind filling me in? Redline says he's got a new fight, and he asked me to fight him. You think you can ruin my date, little man? Date? Drayden blushes and stammers, but Redline pipes up. Hey, I didn't ruin anything, and I just want to spar. You want to spar, do ya? I'll spar with you, little furball. They're both laughing, with some even more aggressive grappling. We make it to an empty gym, and the two of them rush in. Drayden's face is still red, seemingly unsure what to say. He and I lean back against the wall as Redline and Bucky get into fight gear. Well, Redline gets into his. Bucky's still wearing his uniform, but has MMA gloves on now. Alright, little buddy. You know how to take on bigger opponent. Oof! Redline was already charging on in, rocking Bucky's gut with a solid straight. Bucky didn't move, only laughing as his arms wrap around the yin. See, now there's your first mistake, getting within throwing range. In a grand spectacle, Bucky lifts Redline up, then slams him down on his back. He lets out a yip of pain, but manages to get his arms around Bucky's neck. Oh, what's the next move, little twerp? With his little arms draped over the kangaroos, he tightens the guillotine hold. Bucky sputters and coughs out a laugh, and I can see his legs repositioning, crawling up towards Redline's. The guillotine. With a deep, brutal, guttural grunt, the bigger man starts to stand upright. Redline's tail is wagging as he's lifted up into the air, and the sounds of Bucky's coughing only tightening the choke. Bucky chokes again, arcing his back to lift Redline up even higher, then slams him down onto the mats hard. Redline lets out a much louder yelp, his body very closely convulsing as the pain walks up through his body, but remains locked tight around Buck's neck. His legs kick out, failing to find purchase on the mat as the lack of oxygen starts to show its signs. And after another few seconds, the coach taps Redline's arm 3 times, signaling his submission. Redline laughs and releases the hold, laying spread eagle under Bucky as the both of them try to gather more air. I turn to Drayden, who seems enamored. Should we stop this? Drayden doesn't respond, only staring at the two as Bucky swaps to putting Redline in a chokehold, guiding him on how to break out of it. Drayden. What? Oh, no. I think they're just, they aren't usually actual power, right? It should be fine, I think. I guess that's fair. They aren't supposed to use full power, and that slam sounded pretty heavy. Maybe that's just how they spar. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever watched the two of them actually spar. It's normally Redline and his friends. So Bucky spars with you? Huh? No. I mean, he'll hold the pads if we have an odd number of people, but normally it's me with one of Redline's buddies. Ah, I see. What are they like? His friends? I'm not really sure. I don't pay enough attention to them. They kinda just blend in with everyone else down here, except with Redline, of course, but we're roommates, so... Drayden nods and folds his arms over his chest. Redline and Bucky are standing now, the two of them squared up just outside striking distance. Redline growls something, and Bucky pounds his own gut, beaming wide, inviting Redline to strike him. Redline's next fight is with someone bigger than him, so... The cat lets out a chuckle in sighs. Trust me, he holds us all about it. Bucky actually coached Jesse for about a year before he got bumped up to tier 2. So he switched coaches? Yep, or so I hear. You can start booking private sessions at that level, and apparently Jesse and Bucky never really got on too well, so it was a good thing all around, I guess. I guess so. Hard to imagine what kind of asshole you'd have to be to not get along with Bucky, but I've met Ryan, so... How has Redline been since the party? I shrug. He's been alright, I guess? A little sad here and there, but I don't think it has to do with the party. Then what was he sad about? He seemed anxious about not getting fights for a while, though thought they were going to fire him. Drayden chuckles as Bucky tackles Redline to the ground. I don't think they get rid of him just like that, and I'm glad to hear he's got a fight coming up. Have you heard anything about his friends? I don't really talk to them, but he did kind of get weird when we saw them today, now that you mention it. He got all quiet, but he said it's because he hadn't had a fight in a while. I see. Right? It's not like Redline would stay quiet about his friends. He never shuts up about them. Even if he hasn't talked about them in a few weeks. Huh. Do you think something happened? Drayden sighs. Probably. Should we say something? I've tried asking. He keeps saying everything's fine. As frustrating as that can be sometimes, we can't really force him to open up. That's fair. He's right. It sucks, but forcing the questions could only make things worse. And how have you been? I still don't know if I should talk to him about how much Bruce and I have been talking. At the very least, we should talk about it in private. Not bad. My abs still hurt after the fight last night. Well, if that's the worst you're feeling these days, that sounds like an improvement. Have you heard anything from your family? Actually, now that you mention it, no, I haven't. Not since we talked a month ago. I see. Have you put any thought into what you'll do if he calls again? He's awfully persistent. Do you think we could maybe talk about this in private? Ah, of course. Just let me know when you'd like to talk it over. You have my number. Of course, Doctor. As Bucky finally pins Redline, the kangaroo cranks him back in a chokehold. After a few choked laughs, the little hyena taps out, and the two collapse forward on the mat, exhausted. They both have big smiles on their faces. They seem happy. Bucky scoops Redline up, draping the limp yin over his shoulder, and trots back over to us. Hey, I'm not done. Oh, yes you are, pup. You got a fight coming up, and we got practice later, so that means you gotta rest. The kangaroo stops in front of us, then flips Redline over, holding him bridle style. He turns to look at me and Drayden, tongue hanging limp out of his maw, panting like a dog. Here, you want him? Bucky starts to hand him over, and I awkwardly accept Redline into my arms, and immediately have to ease him towards the ground. He's heavier than I was expecting. He catches himself on his feet, then drops down, laying spread eagle and panting some more between giggles. That ought to wear him out for a bit. You had fun fighting above your weight class, pup? Yeah. How come you never trained me like that? That's because... maybe we should start then. Never took you as a glutton for punishment too, Zandeer. In a flash, he pulls me into a headlock, grinding his knuckles hard against my head. I try swinging my fist for his side and pulling free, but with no luck. It's too warm, pressed against his sweaty body, bare knuckles digging harder and harder into my scalp. I have to tap out. There you go, little man. He lets me go, and I stumble back against the counter. Redline lets out a little laugh, but goes back to gasping. Just a little taste of what's to come. Now that you and Red got me fired up, I'll make sure you get some special training with your coach. Now, if you'll excuse me, I was about to go on a walk with my dear friend Drayden. The doctor blushes a bit, and Bucky leans down to help Redline to his feet. You boys gonna be alright for class later today? Yeah. I'll be gunning for you, Coach Buck! And that's double your punishment in class. He lets out a laugh, and while Redline tries to get a rude protest out, Bucky and Drayden make their way to the exit. Let's chat more soon, you two. I nod at Drayden, but Redline just collapses again, panting face up on the ground. I sit down next to him, listening to him giggle for a while. He's never tried putting me in a headlock like that before. He's really scary when he gets riled up, but in a fun way. Yeah, I noticed. I think Drayden noticed too. How's your back feeling? I'm fine. I'm great. Those slams were nothing. They really did not sound like nothing. Did you learn your lesson? Oh yeah, Coach gave me plenty to work with. I haven't wrestled like that in a while. You and I grappled like 5 years ago. No, I mean like with someone bigger. And Bucky's way bigger than Jesse. That loser's gonna eat pavement. He rolls onto his front and pushes himself to a standing position. I'm gonna go run and grab some water. Maybe a shower too. Bucky stinks. It's definitely more your scent, man. Redline takes a whiff and realizes his mistake. Shush! I'll grab a shower. Red starts out the door, and at the same time, I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket. With a heavy grunt forced by the pain in my abs, I get myself up off the ground and check it. It's a text message from Dad. Hey! The text can wait. Oh no. I charge out into the hall to see Redline pressed up against the wall by someone. Hall. Come on, pup. It's an easy question. Some sort of canine, about Bruce's size, has Redline pinned, shoved into the wall next to the gym. He's got a bit of a sleazy grin on his muzzle. Redline looks uncomfortable. Stop, Cole! I already said... Ugh! At that, Cole smacks the side of Redline's muzzle, forcing a yelp from the yin. Yep! I told you to call me Alpha, pup. Hey! I managed to catch their attention, and they both turn their heads to look at me. You mind, Runt? Leave him alone. It's okay, Xander. Hey, I think I recognize you. He shoves Redline away and staggers up to me, bumping me against his gut. I stand my ground, staring straight up at him. I don't care. Fuck off. You're that little creep that spilled your drink all over me. And you deserved it. I remember the incident, but not the faces. I was panicking too much. It all happened so fast. I was back on my first day. I was talking to Redline, and I bumped into someone. One enough to accidentally crush my smoothie cup. The lid popped off, spilling the drink onto the big guy. He shoved me back, and I slipped on the bit of smoothie that fell to the floor. Red tried to keep me held up, but I just dropped. There were 4 guys. One was Bruce, and the guy I bumped into was... Right. I was so scared when I saw Bruce, I totally forgot what the other guy looked like. The canine with the stain box back at Redline. Wait, I remember his voice now. It was just a little bit prior, my first time entering the cafeteria. I was walking through the aisle of tables, I got distracted by this food stations along the back, and I... Oh shit, my bad little dude. This was the guy that hit me by accident. Well, maybe he just didn't care. They all laughed at something. Probably the fact that I just got decked by this big guy. I turned around to walk away, but... You lost to something, little guy? That's right. I don't think I ever got an apology for that smoothie and his incident, little man. He leans down over me. I can feel his weight pressing into me. I don't know what's gotten into me, but I'm not as scared as I should be. And I don't think Redline ever got his. Cole glares down, a slight growl rumbling from his throat, but he smiles and reaches back for Redline. In a single swipe, he's got him in a headlock, grinding a noogie hard into his scalp. Hey! We were just having some fun, ain't that right, little slut? Stop! Ow! I just want to know where my buddy Bruce is at. Said he was gonna meet me around here. Figured the fang fuckhole would know where the champ is. Redline just growls and struggles harder and harder, not even opting to respond. I have to do something. Heal, idiot. Bruce strolls out of the weight room next to the gym, scruffing Cole harshly. He releases Redline immediately, who stumbles forward into me. The canine turns around to face Bruce. Jesus, dude, you're late! I've been waiting for you to spot me for an hour! And you're a dumbass. I said we're meeting at 1:30. No, you said we were meeting at 12:30. I said 1:30. You forget how to tell time? The two keep arguing for a bit, the commotion getting louder and louder as it draws the attention of random passersby in the hall. Eventually, Bruce grumbles and stumps back towards the weight room. I'm gonna go work out, and you better quit picking on the lightweights. Huh. Cole scruffs Redline again, or at least he manages to grip it. I step between them, keeping Cole from moving him. Or what? You're gonna hurt me? Bruce sighs and steps closer to Cole, staring him down. Drop him! Cole hesitates and lets Redline go. You've been doing this shit for months, Cole. You spent all your time fucking around and lost your last 5 fights. Quit being a fucking idiot and get to work. Two stay pressed chest to chest, growling until... Whatever. Cole finally releases his grip, shoulder checking Bruce as he stomps towards the weight room. Bruce sighs and follows behind him. I swear I catch his eyes looking to both of us before he enters. What a creep. You okay? I think so. You know him? Redline lets out a long sigh and shakes the tension out, staring down the hallway. I know a lot of people down here. I'm guessing you heard the, His ears are folded down, talking under his breath while we walk. I get, really close with a lot of guys down here. My mind goes back to Redline detailing his encounters while we were at the beach. Yeah, you've mentioned it. Well, Cole was different. Most of the time, the guys would just come over, I help them out, and that's that. Cole was really mean about it. He's rough, not in a fun way. And ever since then, he's just kept making fun of me for it. I mean, I get hazing, but when he does it... Redline stutters as we reach the second floor. It's nice to be wanted like that, but I don't know. It just makes me feel like... gross. Hopefully Bruce can keep him on a leash. I can't always be around to protect you. He goes quiet for a second, looking away. Sorry. I wasn't trying to make him feel bad. Shit. Don't apologize to me. It's his fault. Right. Right. By the time we make it to the room, Redline's stone silent. He gathers up some clothes quick and leaves to shower. He seems so proud of his escapades when he was bragging at the beach, but I feel like he's still not being fully truthful. It's nice to be wanted like that. Like an object? Is he proud of that? People are free to do what they love, but it doesn't feel like there's any love there. Maybe it was an obligation for him. He probably feels pretty lonely. His only friends stopped talking to him. All he's got is me and Bruce, and now he's getting shoved around by some creep. I think back to the time he embarrassed me in class. I felt fucking sick, and the last thing I needed was to be isolated from everyone else down here. All I wanted to do was run to the showers and cry. And cry. My body moves on its own, shifting out of the room and stopping down the hall towards the showers. I'm there before I can even think. There's only one shower going. I move closer, leaning up against the wall next to it, staying quiet to try and listen. It's hard to tell. I guess that's why people cry in the showers. Red? Ah! His face appears from around the side of the shower. Oh, hey man, what's up? He doesn't look like he's been crying, or it's hard to tell. His whole face and body is soaked. Are you okay? Red pauses for a second, then smiles. Yeah, man. Why, you worried? Yeah, man. Why, you worried I'm gonna slip and fall? It'll take a lot more than that to hurt me. Though that is a real fear of mine, it's not really why I'm here. Just making sure you're okay. You look like a Bucky Slam's heart. Oh, Pshaw, that guy's nothing to me. Right. Well, if you're alright, I'll head out. You sure you don't want to hop in? The water's nice and frigid. I roll my eyes and start to leave. I'll pass. Catch you later, Red. I'm sure he's fine. At least as fine as you can be after getting started by some meathead in the hallway. Cole. Why would Bruce ever be friends with a guy like that? I guess it would make sense if they were both as dumb as I thought. But Bruce is smarter than that. At least he seems smarter than that. Maybe it's hard to make friends down here. People say that it gets lonely at the top, and I guess that probably had some truth in it, especially if the selection down here is bone dry. I pull out my phone to check the time. Ah, right, the text from Dad. Texts are at least an improvement. Now I can see what he has to say without the pressure of talking back right away. Hey, bud. Call me. Dad. Well, there goes the opposite of not talking back right away. What the hell does he even want to talk about? I should just delete the text and block him. For some reason, my body gets a little numb whenever I think about that, tingling in places all over for a second, and then it disappears, like I got caught doing something I'm not supposed to. Probably something to talk with Drayden about. I swipe the text away and try to push it out of my mind. A lot's been going on in the last, 12 hours? Bruce tried to get me to leave, and now he's trying to be friends with me. Redline got a fight, and he needs to train. Redline needs to train. I need to focus on that. Anything to get the rest of this shit off my mind. I guess I've been here for a while, as Redline walks in with the fresh change of gym clothes. Oh, you're still here. Yep. He always smells like wet dog. The room stinks of it when he comes back after a shower. I was gonna try out my fight stick for a bit before practice. I don't really have anything better to do, so I sit and watch Redline tap away on his buttons. It's like riding a bike. The other controller is nice, but this one's more comfortable, you know? He turns to look at me, excitedly. I actually used to, His ears lower and he looks back to his laptop. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Did he just get embarrassed? I didn't know shame was something he could feel. You're fine. Talk away. Redline shakes his head, booting up that fighting game from before. Nah, I'd just talk your ear off. I let out a sigh and sit on the foot of his bed to get a better view of the screen. If I'm being honest, it's weirder when you're not talking. The game finally boots up, blaring the theme music. At least his ears are perked up now, though that might be from the sudden volume. Redline sheepishly chatters away about some of the lore behind the game. It sounds really confusing, and I'm only half paying attention. He stops on some menu. I think my internet is out? My phone's working just fine. It says it's connected. Do you think the new firewall is blocking me from playing my games too? I wouldn't put it past them. Redline sort of deflates in his chair. Sorry about that, Red. Maybe we'll get Bruce to learn how to play. I was half joking, but maybe that'd give them something to do together. Anyway, anything to keep Redline happy. He sets the big clunky controller down, gets up, and stretches. Well, might as well go get ready for class then. You're gonna try to get your ass kicked by Bucky again? He laughs and holds the door open for me. Bucky and Jesse too. I'm gonna have them seeing stars. The next few days go by in a blur. Redline's working out almost non-stop. When he's not sleeping or eating, he's in the gym, the weight room, even the swimming pool. He's up early and out late, no time to spend with his friends, barely even any time to annoy me. Classes are going pretty well too. Since the fight was on such short notice, Ren and Bucky are usually working directly with each other. Apparently, their impromptu sparring match gave Bucky a lot of insight on how to help Redline improve. It's actually pretty interesting watching him while he's determined. He's always pretty focused in the classes, but with the fight coming up, he's gotten a lot more intense, but in a good way. Normally he'll goof around a bit, joke around with Bucky, be a little extra just to be extra. He's still got the cheeriness, but it looks like he's funneling all his energy into training. Diligence. Maybe that's the right word. The kind of guy that can focus his sights on exactly what he wants, and put everything he has into getting that. Unfortunately, with those two working so close together, that means I have to deal with the rest of the guys in our class. They're always reluctant to work with me, but I don't care either way. If they want to treat this like picking teammates in high school gym class, then I'll be the adult and actually try to get work done. I swear, one of them actually tried to hit me with full force at one point. Retaliating in the same way would just get me in trouble. I wish these guys could focus like Redline is. Somehow they made it this far in their career, and they treat it like some kind of frat house. Whatever. Time passes. Redline trains. He goes to the weigh-in. And... bigger? Redline shakes his head. You don't list the actual weights, so I might just be remembering wrong. But I swear, Jesse looked even bigger than I remember him being. And you said he was already bigger than you. Yeah, maybe I'm just remembering wrong. I usually have a good eye for names and faces, especially someone as popular as Jesse. Are you nervous? He scoffs, flexing and patting his bicep. Who do you think you're talking to, Zan? I'm tougher than every chump down here. After posing for a second, he blushes and goes back to standing normally. Aside from you, of course, and I guess maybe Bruce, that's yet to be decided. And Bucky? I knock him out in the first minute. Confident. If that's the case, I'll make sure he knows about your plans. The Redline laughs. There's that laugh. It's better when he laughs. Okay, I've got a good idea of an ending point now, Chad. So, let's watch Redline's fight. The fight comes up quick. It was barely a week when they announced it, so the past few days have felt like a blur. Time feels weird down here. All we do is eat, sleep, and train. Sometimes I forget which day of the week we're on. I accompany Redline and Bucky as far as I can, right to the hallway leading to the immersion chamber. I wave them off as they enter the door leading to the catacombs. Well, not actual catacombs, but that's what they feel like. Just a long-ass maze of hallways and doors. Redline normally tries to drag me into the fights, but I actually don't mind watching them. The problem is, everyone else. The rest of the guys are usually talking way too loud or goofing around while I'm trying to watch and study the fights. You'd think they'd get rid of all that energy during training. At least I've gotten good at tuning it out. I'm at the point where, unless someone bumps into me, I can't even tell they're there. I enter the viewing room and see the inside of the arena is already on screen, so I hurry up and drop down in an empty seat as far away from the others as possible. The commentators start speaking off camera. Good evening, Fang fans across the globe! This is Brett Brock, your favorite Hawk, coming to you live from the Fang Arena. Brett Brock, my favorite Hawk. He's alright, I guess. He's been commentating Fang fights for a long while, at least for most of the time I've been watching. Brett's got a lot of ring IQ, and he also tends to provide a lot of insight on the fighters that other commentators would have missed. He keeps track of their records and history, and tends to talk about things in a way that's just nice to listen. The last guy before him got canned after he asked the cameras to turn away from a particularly bloody fight. Apparently his comments ruined the start of the knockout, and they couldn't use it for promos. Whatever, Brett's alright, definitely better than his co-host. And I'm Johnny War! Fucking Johnny War. This guy's a grade A creep. He started out as a video podcaster, which is a stupid name already. You make videos. That's not a podcast. Anyway, he got popular going over some Fang fights, especially when they start getting more and more violent. He used to interview the fighters whenever they could get topside to speak with him. He got popular fast, so Fang brought him on to commentate. Now he's working some kind of weird limbo position, where he is Fang part-time just to talk over fights. Since then, the embargo on fighters talking publicly has only gotten stricter, so he doesn't do too many fighter interviews these days. They get all replaced by interviews with, man, I don't even know. The last 3 guests on his show talk about how much they hate women for not putting it out on the first date, and then immediately shadow on gay people for daring to look in his direction. Really hate people like that. His earlier videos have some actual insight into the fights, but now he's cultivated such a god-awful audience. It's just mind-numbing garbage. And he fucking sucks as a commentator. I mean, he's okay, I guess, but Brett has such a nice flow on his own, and now he has some homophobic influencers spouting off bullshit while he's trying to talk. I can ignore it, but it just makes the audience Fang garners a lot worse to deal with. Lots of guys hoping for more bloodshed and violence. Pleasure to have you here, Johnny. How are you tonight? I'm fucking stoked for the fights, Brett. You know, I've been flying all across the country these last few days recording stuff for the Johncast, so I've barely had time to read up on the fighters. You mind filling me in? More than happy to as usual, JR. Brett starts listing off the cards that's about to play out tonight. Pretty standard fare for a non-title fight card. A few fights from each weight class. Most of the big events occur on a monthly basis, but this isn't one of those. And the final fight of the evening, we've got a Raging Redline headlining against the 2-round terror, Jesse. Who in the hell is Raging Redline? I'm just reading the name on my card, Johnny. Hey, don't laugh at that. Raging Redline. That's the kind of stupid nickname Redline would give himself. 2-round terror now, Jesse. 2-round terror now, Jesse calls himself that. Blah. Voice is getting tired, but I can get through this. 2-round terror now. 2-round terror now. Jesse calls himself that because he barely makes it past the second round. Well, now, you make that sound like it's a bad thing. Is that a good thing? We don't exactly have rounds in Fang. Thank God for that. But Jesse's fights have notably never gone beyond 10 minutes. Standard round length, of course, being around 5 minutes, but I swear, every fight I see this guy in, He's had them out cold by 3 minutes. Yep, Jesse's made quite a name for himself with the quick knockouts. I think it'll be interesting seeing how Redline fares. Reading Redline? Yes, that one. Redline's been with Fang for quite some time now, but still hasn't had too many fights. He's got 3 wins and no losses right now, compared to Jesse's 14 wins and 2 losses. Jesse's definitely got experience on his side, but I know Redline's got a perfect record for a reason. Jesse's definitely got... Oh, looks like our first fight is about to start! The screen dims whenever the fighters step out of the elevator. I lean back in my chair as the fight commences. At least it's pretty chill in this room. The smaller cards don't always get huge audiences, so it's not too bad. Hey. Bruce grunts from behind me. It almost makes me jump, had it not already been decently noisy in here. This seat taken? Without waiting for an answer, he shuffles through the rows of seats, dropping down a few chairs away from me. No one else seems to notice, so I try not to either. At least he's not bothering anyone. Bruce really only shows up for title fights. Come to think of it, he's never at any of his friends' fights either. Why is he here? None of the heavyweights tonight are big names. He is here to support his friend, and I am all for it. I love this man. None of my business, I guess. The fight is getting started, so I settle in. Overall, it's a decent card. Some of the new faces, well, new to me, were impressive. One of them landed 3 cartwheel kicks in the same fight. Still not sure if that's impressive for him, or for his opponent for getting knocked out by 1, but impressive nonetheless. The fight before the main event was between a Rhino and a Tiger in the heavyweight division. Looked like an easy fight for the Rhino, but his ego was a bit too big, and the Tiger was a bit too brutal. If I had to go into a fight with that much blood on the floor, I'd be a little unnerved, but there's not exactly enough time to clean off the cement. I've always wondered how they clean that off. Bloodstained stuff pretty quickly, right? How do they get the colors out? It's not like they can pump new cement every week down here. I guess they don't have to replace the whole floor. Or maybe they have some kind of chemical that can clean that deep. Bah, who cares? It's not something I have to bother with. The 2 commentators are still chatting on about the last fight when the screen goes black. And stepping into the arena first, we've got the challenger, Raging Redline! I can't believe they're still rolling with that nickname for him. But sure enough, Redline trots out of the arena to the sound of some rock music. His stats flash up on screen. 5 foot 8 inches tall and 143 pounds. I guess I wasn't too far off from my original estimate. I'm an inch shorter than Redline. You know, I remember seeing this guy's fights while they were scouting him out, and I could tell he was going to do some great things. I mean, the guy's an animal. He's got stamina, he's got speed, he's got a surprising amount of power for someone his size. These lightweights, man, they're getting deadlier every year. We haven't been able to see too much of him, but that might just give him the advantage he needs over Jesse. Hard to research your opponent when you don't have much to go off of. Exactly. Ah, and speaking of Jesse, it seems he's stepping out now. Jesse stomps out of the elevator, and his stats show up on screen. 5 feet 8 inches tall, 189 pounds? This is supposed to be in the lightweight division. Redline said that they both passed the weigh-in, but if this is a lightweight fight, he shouldn't be over 180. Maybe it's just a typo? That doesn't seem like Fang's normal level of quality control, though they do have the system bugging out from my fights. Bruce is leaning forward in his seat. He looks pissed. Well, he always looks pissed. It's so hard to read his face. Coming in at 5 foot 8 and 189 pounds. This guy is a beast! I know we were chatting earlier about his knockout power, but he's just insane. Looks like Johnny saved Brett from having to comment on the size difference. It's even more apparent when both Redline and Jesse are staring each other down from their sides of the ring. And here we go, kicking off the final fight of the night. Now they are. I'm gonna take a swig of water real quick. Okay, now I'm ready. Redline steps in with his fist extended. It's customary for fights to tap gloves before they start, a sign of respect. Jesse seems to have missed that day in class, and instead charges forward with a fist cocked. He swings it in a right hook that should have cleaved Red's head clean off, but the hyena was too fast. Redline ducks under the hook, circling out, while sending a parting shot to Jesse's body. The puma was relentless, coming for Redline even after he tried to escape. 2 more blows fired at Red's snout, both missing their mark just barely as Red created some distance. See, that's how Jesse gets you! He just comes out the gate swinging. I've seen way too many guys take on too many from the start, and it just all falls apart from there. You'd think after that kind of predictable start, people would start expecting it. Except Redline just did. He's prepared, or at least as prepared as he can be at a 50-pound disadvantage. Once Red's got a good bit of distance, he makes sure to keep it. Jesse's got an intimidating form, forging proper technique as he stomps towards the hyena. Red's already circled out by the time he gets close. He's riding the gate, moving along the absolute edge of the arena. He could put a foot down outside it now and again, but if he's fully outside it, Jesse could close the distance and keep him there until he times out. Red's fast, only pulling his hands up if Jesse gets close. Some people might see it as disrespectful, but Red's not that type of guy, as far as I know. He's backed against one end of the ring. The puma moves in. Redline ducks and circles out, hardly even bothering to fight back. Seems they're playing some tag in there. Redline's making his move all across the ring. He's playing a dangerous game, but I think I see the picture. If Jesse's fight only lasts for a few minutes, that means he probably won't have the energy to fight past that time limit. Once he reaches that time, he's gonna get exhausted, weak, slow. Red can pierce him apart. Of course, he's gotta survive that long. No doubt the first few punches thrown at Red would have ended the fight then and there, but if the gamble pays off, Redline will stay undefeated and make it to the next fight. Hopefully against someone his size. Just then, Redline stumbles over his own tail. As his fist cracks clean against his muzzle, the hyena staggers to one side. Oh! There's a nice shot! A few of the guys still watching the fight made a bit of an uproar. A mistake like that is usually pretty huge, and it's clear Redline's paying for it. Bruce next to me lets out a short breath. His gaze is deep, intense. When it comes down to it, Redline has no shot of surviving more hits like that. He might be fast and have plenty of energy, but he doesn't really have the option of starting a slugfest here and now, especially if he's flustered after that mistake. I silently thank the stars for how useless deer tails are. Taking advantage of Redline's compromised position, Jesse follows through. His massive frame charges in with another fist aimed for Redline's face. Hyena's got his guard up, blocking a blow to his face and another to his chest with his arms. That's still gotta sting, but better on the arms than on the face. Jesse ends his combo with a kick to Red's ribs. But Redline catches the leg against his side. Wait! The whole room freezes to watch. Before Jesse can react, Redline clutches that leg tight. He pivots on one foot, turning in place, releasing Jesse as he turns. The puma has no chance of fighting back. He hobbles his standing leg, then ultimately gives in as his body is thrown across the floor, sliding outside the ring. The floor is a typical canvas floor. That might be less painful, but we could hear the sound of skin scraping on the cement from here, and even as small as Redline is, there was some serious force to the throw. 190 pounds is a lot to drop on the ground, and after how much Red has been running him around the ring, It was starting to show. Jesse's sweat left an imprint where he skidded. I cannot believe it! He threw him to the ground like it's nothing! Typically after taking a guy down, you want to follow him to the ground and beat him unconscious, but Redline is actually backing away. And he's opting to let Jesse get back up! That's a pretty big gamble. I've seen some guys do this before, but it's usually just to piss off the other guy. But it makes sense, right? I mean, look at the guy. He's a string bean. If he goes to the ground with Jesse, he's gonna get rolled and pinned and knocked the fuck out. Of course, Redline's playing the long game. If he tries to finish the fight, he's going to get overpowered. If he tries to prevent Jesse from getting back in, he's going to get overpowered. The only option he has is to use the wing out rule against Jesse. That will force him to get up and waste more energy. Sure enough, after a few seconds on the countdown timer, Jesse is stumbling to his feet and back into the ring. Redline looks full of energy, still moving carefully without issue. His sweat makes a nice sheen over his fur, and there's a bit of blood from the knock he took, but he looks ready as ever. Jesse, on the other hand, is a bit sluggish. His fur's been matted down by the sweat, and he's moving a bit slower as he re-enters the circle. It's clear he's not learning too much, or at least he's not getting the picture just yet. He takes a second to breathe, and charges right back in to attack Redline head-on. The two play the same game as before, with Redline taking the occasional shot at Jesse when he circles out. It's not exactly the most interesting way to fight, but it's a more strategic fight. Given the size advantage, that's a better way to operate. If he wanted to be sorry, he could. That's Redline's whole deal, but he knows as well as I do that every second he spends in there is dangerous. The way that Jesse keeps charging in at Red, he's looking more like a bull than a puma. About 10 minutes have passed, which is a ridiculous amount of time to be fighting without a break. Aside from the hook on Redline and Jesse being thrown, not a whole lot has happened. There's been a few clean strikes here and there. Redline's nose is bleeding a bit more after taking a jab or two, but he hasn't broken concentration. Jesse, on the other hand, looks like hell. His legs are shaking. He's losing sweat. Fast. His arms can barely stand up, and when a punch is thrown, Redline's dodging and countering with three more, all sent to the body. Aiming for the head is a good way to knock someone out. The body shots can be devastating. The body is sensitive, especially if you take a good shot to the liver or the solar plexus. With good aim and enough power, you can drop a guy for a few minutes with one shot there, no matter how big he is. Bearing that, of course, hitting someone's abs accumulates over time. The more you work their body, the harder it is for them to breathe, and the more energy they have to spend just to keep fighting back. Targeting only the body and consuming energy, while your opponent is notorious for having a limited amount of energy. It's a perfect combination for... Rah! Holy shit! I blink, thinking I missed something. It all happened so fast. Jesse was exhausted, completely wiped, and went to throw a punch, but his guard is absolute shit at this point. He's got no form, which is exactly where Redline wanted him. The Puma's fist had extended, with Redline having more than enough time to evade it. Rather than let himself stay within range of Jesse's deadly fists, Redline opted to use a kick instead. You could see the concussion leave Jesse's body. No, you could see the consciousness leave Jesse's body. With how exhausted he was, it didn't take much to put him out. The Puma went limp the instant Redline's foot connected with his jaw, and the sound accompanying it made it clear that something was broken. As Jesse falls, the others in the room all come to attention. Bruce tenses up, and when I turn to look at him, I can see a grin on his face. Time resumes, and Redline wastes no time finishing the job. Jesse's body falls limp to the concrete, and Redline follows up, both legs planted over that Puma. Redline bends over, swinging 1, 2, 3, 4 hooks across his opponent's face. Once it's clear he's not fighting back, the bell rings out, and Redline rises. With a beautiful kick to the head, Redline has put Jesse out cold. Looks like he gets to keep his win streak going for another fight. And with a performance like that, I think he'll be keeping it for a long time. He raises his arms and pumps them, roaring out some sort of victory screech as the music starts playing. Bruce leans back in his chair and folds his arms. He's still smiling. Redline played it smart. He was patient and calculated, and being able to fight for that long under pressure from an opponent that much heavier just proves how hard he worked for this. He deserves it. I'm woken out of the best sleep I've had in a while by someone pounding on my door, followed by what sounds like the door to the side staircase opening and closing. Probably some asshole running down the hallway and waking people up for no good goddamn reason. It's happened before. I roll out of bed and stumble to the door. Redline's not here to be woken up. The doctors had him stay in the medbay overnight just to clear him from a concussion. That was a few hours ago, though. I'm sure he's fine. I swing the door open to see if anyone else got woken up. There's a scrape of paper on the floor in front of my door. Looking down the hallway, there's no one else awake. I flip the paper over. Get ready to beach. B. Bruce? Bucky? If it were Bucky, he'd probably just tell him directly instead of slamming on my door at 11 p.m. I can't tell if this is a dream yet. If it is a dream, it'd be pretty lame of me to just go back to sleep. Might as well enjoy it. I'm really not in the mood for whatever Bruce has in store, but it sounds like he wants Redline more than me, and they actually seem to have a history, so... Slide on the pants and sneak my way down to the medbay. I don't know why I'm sneaking. There's no curfew down here, but I walk with confidence right past the receptionist and wander through the halls until I see a room with Redline's name on it. Outside it, the door creaks open, and he's in there, sitting on the bed, legs dangling off the side. His ear twitches when it hears me, but he doesn't move until I speak up. Red? Immediately he comes to attention, turning to face me with a big smile. Ah, scared me, dude. What's up? You're still up. Yeah, the doctor cleared me a while ago, but I was, chatting with Drayden. I feel like I have a responsibility to ask him about that, but Bruce's note sifted in my pocket. I gotcha. I got this note by our room. I think it's from Bruce. He wants me to bring you to the immersion chamber. Without question, Redline hops down from the bed, scoops a little knapsack over his shoulder, and trots to the door. Sounds good. Just like that? Do you need to check out or anything? Nah, they offered to let me stay the night. I don't think I'll be doing any sleeping. Fair enough. He must still have some adrenaline from the fight. We make our way down the long hallway, and Redline's uncomfortably quiet. He doesn't seem sad, just quiet. For once, I'm leading the trek, and after a few minutes, we make it to the immersion chamber. Are you sure you want to do this? If we need a rest, we can... Nah, if he wants to see us, we can see him. We open the doors and find... Bruce standing behind the bar counter, setting up a few bottles of various drinks. He looks up as we enter, and smiles when he sees it's us. There they are. Redline and I share a quick glance before he speaks up. What's all this? A party. Didn't you know fighters get a celebration after a win? Yeah, but that's usually a tier 3 thing. Well then, you're a tier 3 fighter, just for tonight. Figured a fight like that deserves a little party, so I booked the room for us. This feels like a setup, or something. I don't know. Bruce saw how drunk Redline got at a party. He knows how rowdy he can get. But Redline smiles, drops his bag, and jogs forward to the little hut. Dude, that's so nice of you! Just don't go mentioning it to Bucky. Why? Afraid he'll kick your ass? Yeah. The two laugh as the beverages crack. Bruce looks at me and nods before starting to down one. Feels kind of late to be drinking, don't you think? Don't be such a party pooper, Xander. It's alright. We'll only have one or two. Plus, I'd hate for Bruce to go through all the trouble and have it go to waste. No trouble at all. I saw the fight. You were fucking great. Redline's tail starts wagging a little harder at that. He's having trouble finishing his drink fast enough to respond. You got how many backflips? 4! No, 5! Bullshit. I bet I can prove it. Only if I get to be the one throwing you in the water. We've been talking for a while. I'm getting a little sleepy, but it's nice listening to other people talk, just as long as I'm not the one needed to provide conversation. Redline and Bruce have been chatting about their various vacations for the years. Red brought up his summer cabin adventures, bragging about how many flips he did off that purge. We can always save your chest to recreate the aftermath. Why, so you can see my nipples? You whore! Yeah, maybe get something tattooed there too, raging Redline. Red howls with laughter at that. I still can't believe they let me get away with that. I slipped Brett the revisit at the weigh-in. I didn't think they'd read it. Well, congrats on your new brand, Rager. God, don't. The sports drinks are going to be breaking down your door for a sponsorship. Yeah, don't make me regret it any more than I already am. Redline subs Bruce playfully as they laugh, but when Bruce subs back... Redline resists a bit too much, and his drink tips over, covering Bruce's shirt and shorts. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, man. Nah, it's my bad. The dino flicks a bit of the pung and drink off his arm and waddles to the exit. Oh, let me go get a change of clothes. Be back in a sec. The door closes, leaving me and Red alone until under the night sky. Or at least a simulated version of it. Redline's giggles are still dying down. After a bit of silence, he speaks up. Bruce is so fucking hot. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm shaking a little by how suddenly he speaks up, then again by the realization of what he just said. He seems to notice too, as he covers his snout in shame. Sorry, I know you two have a whole thing going, but, like, it's been on my mind forever, and I don't know who else is willing to hear it. It's fine, Red. His tail starts wagging. I mean, you're pretty cute too. Thanks? What the fuck? Where did that come from? I guess he's a bit more mouthy now that he's drunk. Redline laughs again, face down against the railing as he snickers. Sorry, I didn't want you to feel left out. It sounds like he said it out of pity or consolation. I mean. It's fine, Red. Thanks. You've been calling me Red a lot lately, Xander. Have I? Yeah. Normally it's Redline with you. Bucky and I actually made a bet on when you'd stop. Oh, sorry. Is that a problem? No, not at all. I thought it was cute. It's fine either way. Red is reserved for good friends. And family, of course. Right. What about you? What? What about me? Which guy do you think is hot? I don't recall ever telling Redline I like men. How did you know I'm gay? Because you just told me, dear boy! Oh. Damn. Redline rolls his eyes. Besides, like I need you to tell me that. I've got a sixth sense. Hyenas have a very strong gaydar. Yo, furries, is that true? I thought a hyena's sixth sense would be a sense of humor. Because they're laughing all the time, right? Wait, is that offensive? Well, I thought it was funny at least. What the fuck? That's perfect! Okay, then gaydar is my seventh sense. He taps his nose, then touches one of my antlers. And it's almost never wrong. Well, he's got me there, and with how openly comfortable he is, I don't really have a problem confirming his suspicions. Yeah, then you got me. Redline giggles and ruffles my hair. So which guy is it? Anyone here got your eye? Redline, Bruce, Bucky, Drayden, Theodore, or the Commissioner? Why is that option? Well, I know what I'm picking. Who I'm picking. I guess I have to agree with you. Bruce is pretty hard. At least physically speaking. He's got a strong jaw and a nice solid body. I'd appreciate it more if I didn't have to fight him so much. See? You get it? He's such a hunk. What about you? I don't know. I think a lot of guys down here are cute. But like, most of them don't want to hear it, you know? Plus, it's hard to tell them when they're... never mind. Right. I chuckle and lean forward on the railing, too. A few seconds pass while we watch the waves. You did really good in your fight, you know? His tail wags. You think so? Yeah, man. You played it really smart. Even the commentators were surprised. But it makes sense. You know how hard those guys hit? But it makes sense. You know how hard those guys hit? I do, yeah. Redline points to his snout. There's a bit of dried blood there. I swear he almost knocked a tooth loose. Imagine how much trouble I'd have eating. You could probably go without a single tooth. You never know. Bruce hasn't hit your jaw yet. Hasn't he? All those fights just kind of melt together. I'm glad you and Bucky got something figured out. Yeah, I learned a lot. Did he do a bunch of wrestling with you? Yeah, I learned not to wrestle with the bigger guy. He gives a tired laugh. I was really worried. I've never had to fight with someone that big. Not in an actual fight, you know. It's pretty scary, right? Yeah, duh. I mean, he's only a couple pounds bigger. Nothing like you and Bruce. A couple pounds? Dude, he was almost 50 pounds heavier. Redline pauses. Huh? Are you sure? I mean, he looked pretty big already, but I wasn't sure if I was just anxious, or... And I never did see his weight. The weigh-in doesn't let us see. But it's weird that he's not even a lightweight. It was a lightweight fight, right? Bucky said I made weight. Do you think they made a mistake? Maybe there was a different Redline. Or maybe they're trying to fire me or get me to quit. Or... Redline keeps spouting out his anxieties, and for some reason, I can't help but place my hand on his head. His fur is really soft. Redline freezes for a moment, mouth still open. I can see the blush on his face. Xander? I don't really know what came over me. I just had some urge to pet something soft. You seemed anxious, so... I clear my throat and move my hand back to the railing. That's okay. If you ever want to pet me, you can just ask. Bruce does it all the time. All the guys do, really. Sometimes without asking, but that's okay. I like the attention. I'm not really sure what to say. I don't know why I did what I did. He was cute, and I don't know why. Huh. Redline's quiet for a second. Then his paw traces against my hand. It's slow, and it's trembling. I take his paw. It's still shaking, but it settles a little bit in mine. His tail's going crazy, though. Redline lets out a shaky sigh, but stays silent, his thumb tracing the backside of my hand. He feels so scared. The longer we stay like this, the calmer he gets. Sorry, close your eyes. I don't really question it. I think I know what's coming. I think I'm okay with it. I close my eyes. Red, you... Just then, I feel a quick kiss on my cheek. I open my eyes and look at him. He's smiling, still leaning close. Redline whispers in a low voice. I meant what I said earlier about you being cute. I can smell the drinks on his breath and look back to the ocean. You're just drunk. Redline laughs a little, and his grip tightens. They're not alcoholic, I'm pretty sure. I turn the bottle nearest to me and read the label. Huh. And my hand is released. So, were the other fights good? They were fine. Nothing really to write home about. One guy got a cartwheel kick knockout. Jesus, why hasn't Bucky taught us how to do that? Probably because he knows you'll go for it in a real fight. Redline laughs and lets out a sigh, leaning forward against the railing. We watch the waves in silence for a bit. Hey, Xander? Do you think you'll be doing this forever? Fighting, I mean. I don't know. I guess I kind of have to. It bruises my opponent every time. Until you kick his ass or he retires. Right. Any day now. What about you? I don't know either. Don't get me wrong. I like doing what I do here. Fighting is fun. Or at least it was? I don't know. It's not really what I expected. This feels familiar. What did you expect? Another sigh. I don't know. Fighting was a lot more fun when I was doing it. For fun, you know? I like staying fit. And I like spending time with my friends and family. I guess I can't do that anymore. Why not? I mean, I'm down here, aren't I? People always said you have to be dedicated and do what you love and all that, and here I am, miles away from my friends, and... He shakes his head. Sorry. Well, do you love fighting? I do, but it's like... I'm not doing it because I love it. I'm doing it because I have to now. Is there anything else you'd rather be doing? I don't know. Yes, but I don't know what. Maybe I could have joined the band my buds invited me to. Or maybe I could have done more photography. Or done something with fighting games. It's hard to tell if I fucked up, you know? I know. I do have one goal at least. Yeah? Yep. I want to be the best fighter down here. And I want to get so good that they put me in charge. And I'm gonna make some changes. Like bigger rooms, and more vacation days, and hot water in the showers. And healthcare, and better pay. And let people use the internet. And more than 2 washing machines. And I'm gonna make them use 4 eggs in the omelets again. And I'll fix city situations like yours. And give Bucky a raise. You just want to be in charge so you can beat him up without getting fired. Sus, you weren't supposed to figure that out. Okay, but I meant what I said though. One day, I'm gonna run this place. And I'm gonna fix everything. Is that how it is then? The commissioner sighs, eyes glancing to a screen on the wall filled with spreadsheets and reports, viewing data from tonight's fights. With numbers like that, you won't be going very far. But not to worry, Red. He snaps his fingers, and a very exhausted-looking rabbit comes to attention. Sir. Theodore, do we have the roster set for the next matchmaking day? Yes, sir. Though I don't think Redline is on it. Bring it here, please. I have a few changes I'd like to make. Oh god, just what is the commissioner planning now? My gosh, that was such a sweet moment between them. Yeah, this was definitely a Redline focused stream. Pretty cool to know more about him. Yep, I saved. Oh, nope. Main menu. Alright everyone, we are gonna end it here for today's stream. Like I said, we saw a lot of Redline, and Bruce is slowly becoming our friend, which is awesome. Yeah, next stream we'll definitely see more of Bruce being friendly with us. At least, I have a gut feeling he will. Wink. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. I definitely wanna stream again tomorrow. We'll do more of Undefeated, and see where the story takes us next time. Well, if you enjoyed the stream, follow the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future streams. The support is much appreciated. Now then, I'm gonna look and see if there's anyone to raid. Alright, we're going to raid Norton Fox. He's playing Final Fantasy XIV right now, if you're into that. There. Thanks again for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will see you next time. Bye.